All right, guys. I'm not gonna take too much of your Saturday. I know that it's kind of a rough time in the middle of the day, but so I think we could probably knock it out in a couple hours. We have Jimmy John's coming at 12, so we'll have that in an hour, and then we'll probably just maybe cover some stuff for like half an hour after that and be out of here by 1-ish. So thank you all for being here. You know, we're still waiting on a couple people. I think we had 20 people confirmed, so we're missing 5 respectively out of the whole team that were either working or out of town or something like that. So it means a lot that y'all are here. I thought we would open up with a couple songs and pray, and then we'll just get started. Just basically, if you're all not positive about what today was, I tried to put it as much as possible in Planning Center, but it's basically, I know we met about 6 months ago or 7 months ago when I first came on staff here, but I really didn't know what I was doing that much.
You look like you did.
Well, I just went by the Seacoast deal, but this is kind of going to be a little bit of vision casting for 2016, and then just hitting some stuff that we probably already know, maybe just need to be reminded of, because, yes, so, all right. Marco, do you want to open us in prayer?
Sure. Papa, we just thank you for today. God, you are so worthy. I think I say that every time I begin to pray, but we just thank you for who you are and for sending your son to die on the cross for us. We just praise your name, God. We thank you that you have brought us all together for your purpose, God, and we just pray that today be for your glory and that we offer ourselves up as living sacrifices, God, and that you would accept our offering. We come here today to just bring you praise. We magnify you, Lord. Our souls are magnified by you. God, I just pray that you would just bring your Holy Spirit to live in us and be a good dwelling place for who you are. I just pray for Evan and that you would just give him vision right now, Lord, and that he would cast it out to the whole team, and that we would be obedient to your will, and that we will do as you ask. God, I just pray that you would just touch every person in here, no matter what's going on, no matter the circumstance or what happened in life this week. God, I just pray that you would just bring us all a peace that transcends all understanding and help us to hear you ever so clearly. We just lift up this time, God, and we just pray that as a team that we remember that we are all for you and that we are here because of your mercy, because of your grace, and because of your goodness. And I just pray that you would remain the center of all we do and that we wouldn't be distracted by anything else around us. I pray that you help us with offenses, Lord, and that we would come to one another and just talk to each other as brother and sister. And I just pray right now that we would rebuke the enemy and that anything that he does will not succeed, God, but that you will reign supreme. Thank you for winning for us on our behalf. You have won the victory. So we just thank you right now. We know that you're able. It's in your son Jesus' name we ask. Amen.
God is able. He will never fail. He is Almighty God. Greater than all we see, greater than all we ask. He has done great things. Lift it up. Defeated the grave. Lives to life. Our God is able. In his name we overcome. For the Lord our God is able. God is with us. God is on our side. He will make a way. Far above all we know, far above all we hope. shout your praise. All the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. And great are you, Lord. All the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. And great are you, Lord. All the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you, holy, to your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise, pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you, holy. Great are you, Lord.
All right, God, we just thank you for this morning. Thank you for bringing these awesome people together here. God, just give me the words to say, and may what I've written down and feel that you've placed on my heart, and also on the heart of Seacoast Worship as a whole, God, just let that be known today in the best, easiest, most understandable way possible. God, I pray that I wouldn't come off as angry at any point or upset or anything like that, Lord, but just that your love would be shown through me today. And we love you. Thank you for this time. Amen. All right. So, like I said, I'm just going to move through, this stuff pretty quickly, and hopefully we'll be out of here pretty soon. So, first, what I want to do is pass around. Do you have them or I have them?
I gave you one, but I have them.
Okay.
Extra.
I have them, but we'll pass those around because I don't have them right now. We're going to do another availability sheet that's going to actually go out to all of you guys. I'm either going to put it on Slack, or we can also do hard copies too, just if that's easier. It's basically got everybody's name that's an active member on the worship team, or that is going to be an active member on the worship team. Name, what you do for worship arts, whether it's AV, vocals, instrument, your availability, which is very important. A lot of people have asked me over, since our last meeting, why someone gets to be used more than they do. And it's pretty funny because they either put, I only want to be used once a month or twice a month. And that's why there's other people being used 3 and 4 times a month, because they said, use me whenever you can. because I'm open, I'm available whenever. So that would be why that's happening. It has nothing to do with so-and-so is better than me or anything like that. It is simply, I've honestly went off of the availability sheet. There were 2 people last time out of all, 20 people that filled out the spreadsheet that said use me anytime throughout the month. 2. So those are the 2 people that you're going to see the most, because generally that's what's going to happen. So that's why. So if there was any bitterness or jealousy, there's your reason why. And that doesn't need to be happening anyways, but that's beside the point. So that's that. So we'll pass that around if it's not already going. If you did it last time, just fill it out again for me. Email. I also want you to put if you're on Slack. So yes or no on the end there. If you're not, I need to know now. So, hey, Glentoria. I just saw you. I'm like, what is this? Hey, so if you're not on Slack, you need to be on Slack. GroupMe got deleted yesterday. I'm sorry if that offended anyone, but we're not using that anymore. So I think Slack, from what I've got, the feedback so far has been a great tool. Hopefully it's not blowing you up. If it is, there's ways you can fix that without muting the entire channel. But I think Slack is awesome because you can file share, or you can do all that good stuff. Instant direct message one person or send to the entire group. There's nonsense channel for unbusiness related stuff, and then there's the general channel, which is for, time sensitive or general knowledge that the entire team needs to know as a whole. So that's what goes in general. So let's try to keep that as separated as we can. And I know I've probably done it a few times where it wasn't exactly pertinent, but it needs to be, and if it is pertinent, respond in the random channel, unless someone says, hey, I need a count right now. Everybody chime in. This is for, whatever. But if that makes sense. So Slack is how we're going to go. Does everyone like it for the most part, or figuring out how to use it? There's tutorials. There's a robot on there that you can ask any question. It'll tell you what to do. It's pretty cool. I really enjoy it. It's kind of fun for me too, and because I suck with technology pretty much overall, so it's pretty fun. So that gets Slack out of the way. Yes.
Are you the only person that can post in the general?
No, anybody can post in general.
But it has to be related to like the set, or
it needs to be. If you're going to post in general, I'm not saying that it has to go through me or anything like that. But if it's anything worship related, that's going to be telling someone that telling the team something they don't know, then it needs to come through me. If that makes sense. Like, hey, there's a worship night at whatever. Lou posted it in random, which is beautiful, which is perfect. He didn't say, because this is not Seacoast Worship, saying, hey, come, which it is, and it did happen like that, but that was exactly what you need. He did it perfectly. Okay. So, like, if it's going in general, if it's going in the general channel, it needs to either be ran through me, or it needs to be something that you just think is absolutely pertinent to the team. It's not a leadership decision, if that makes sense, right? Are we all on the same page with that?
Yeah.
Cool. So it can even be, hey, I'm having a birthday party today. Spencer, your retirement deal. If you want to, whatever, hey, throw it in general. Absolutely. Okay. And say RSVP in random, or RSVP to my phone number, whatever. That's perfect. That's the kind of stuff that can, be in there without it being like, directed in or whatever. So, and also, guys, I just wanted to say, if you have any questions, stop me at any point, because I'm not really good at these talk things. So I'll probably just ramble or read my points, because y'all know how I am with details and stuff. So I'm very planned out. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything, no one is going to judge you for anything that you say. This is a confidential, judgment-free talk session. So
that's being recorded.
For quality assurance. Yes. So,
that's the best part right there.
Yes. So, yeah. So we'll just move right into it. So that's the Slack. Yes. There you go. So, hey, Bryson. What's up?
Saw her kids say, hey, Bryson.
Yeah, I knew it was her. They're blonde hair. You can't miss it. So, yeah, pull up a seat, Bryson, and squeeze in somewhere. There's paper and pens for you guys. I'd like y'all to take notes on some of this stuff if you feel, it's necessary. Because what we talk about today is going to be used for reference. Again, like I said, we're going to be hitting some stuff that that I think has been addressed, but maybe not to everyone, and maybe there's been new people come in that time being, so we're just going to hit some stuff. But I want this to be a time of you guys thinking that you can respond with your opinions, with your, desires, what you want it to look like. Obviously, we can't say yes to everything, but I am looking for that feedback, so don't think that, what I'm saying is that's it, and your idea is out the window forever. That's not how it is. So I want to talk about some training aspects real fast. Mark Reed actually mentioned this, which was great earlier. So Stephen has so graciously offered up free pad lessons, excuse me. There is a difference.
It did make it sound like we were doing that free piano lesson.
Well, so there are training opportunities, and I don't want you guys to ever think that I'm too busy or anything to help you vocally, or I was working with Shauna for a little while, and that was,
You abandoned me.
and I abandoned Shauna, so because my day got taken up at the law firm at that time. So, anyways, I am done with the law firm next Friday, so I don't know what I'm going to do for other income, but I'm looking. So right now I'm just going to be picking up odd jobs here and there with this construction company that my friend from Irmo owns. So I'm going to be doing that for right now. But if any of you guys, I'm looking for 15, 20 hours would be beautiful. So something where I'm in the office, I'm more present here, because I just really feel like my decision to leave the law firm was basically, they asked me to either come on full time or to stay exactly where I was at and never get any more pay or never grow at all in the company. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm happy, but it's taking all my time, so I'd like for something less. So I'm really looking for 15 to 20 hours, something for some more income until things as we continue to grow. Okay. As we continue to grow as a church, and more hours open up and more that kind of thing happens, we'll see what happens with that. But as of right now, free piano lessons. Yeah, I can give free piano lessons and make no money. No. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So I want to be more available to you guys. I'll be in the office more often. So if you guys ever need to stop by or talk, I'm here. Also, as far as that goes, I am in my ministry license courses right now to get that. So I've got a few more things to do. I really want to step into a more pastoral role for you guys. I've never done that in my life before. I definitely wouldn't call myself, one of my strengths is not pastoring, I would say. But I want to step into that over, the course of me being here with you guys. So I want you guys, even though I'm young, even though some of y'all are old enough to be my parents, and that's kind of been,
We're not going to talk about who the people are.
yeah, that's kind of been
Pastor tip number one.
yes, that's kind of been something that I haven't really cared for too much, and I'm going to talk about that later. That thing. I'm not saying that you guys can learn a lot from me because I've experienced more life than you, because that's not true necessarily. But I do want to be here, and I do want to be a resource for you guys if you ever just want to talk about life. I want to be here in an ear for that kind of stuff. So I want to be that person that you guys can think you can come to, because Chris can't talk to everybody, And as the ministry head of the worship team, we don't have that person right now necessarily. I mean, some of you guys, we have that relationship, but I want you all to know that I'm going to be open to that, and just call me if you ever want to talk about that kind of stuff. And I want to be able to go have coffee with you guys and take you out to lunch and all that. And that's part of me figuring out this job situation. Obviously, I hope you guys understand that I can't survive off of what I make here, working 25 hours a week. So I am going to have another job just to be able to get by and that kind of thing. But I am going to be available more often to you all throughout the week. So just wanted to say that. And I just want to be able to serve you guys better overall. So if you guys want to make notes, I don't want you all to throw stuff back at me now, but I want to know how I can serve you guys better. So if you guys can write some stuff down for me and get it to me on one of these pieces of paper, I just want to know what are some steps that I can take as we grow together that can help you guys better become who you want to be through worship in Christ with this ministry. So just basically, how can I better serve you? Are there some things that we can do as a team? Which leads me to my next point, the small group. We just launched last Monday. Had a pretty good turnout. We had 9 or 10 people show up. So what I want is everyone in this group to be involved in a small group. Everyone on the worship arts team to be involved in a small group. It doesn't have to be our small group, but it needs to be a small group. So I would really strongly advise you to be in a small group if you're not. We had a great time. We've got a strong plan this time. I've recruited some people to help me because I was terrible at the last one and it blew up and I just gave up on it and was like, small group's not for us. But so we're going through a book for 2 weeks out of the month. Another week out of the month, we're going to be here in the worship center doing a workshop, which is going to look like songwriting, jamming, worshiping, just having a good time together, community. And then the last week out of the month, or one of those not 2 weeks that we're studying the book, is going to be just fun. So it's going to be an outing, whether it's here having game night or at somebody's house having game night, bowling, putt-putt, whatever it looks like. We're just going to go have fun together and hang out. There's not going to be any, structured lesson for that week because I think that we need that. We've kind of been lacking that hanging out together aspect. I'm also looking at if winter ever decides to show up this year, I wanted to take a snow tubing up at Moonshine Mountain or something. Kind of like how we did the whitewater rafting, either skiing or snow tubing, something like that. So we're looking at that. Like I said again, if it decides to get below freezing ever this winter.
You're telling us you want to send us down the mountain.
What?
You're not going to die.
tube?
You're going to be
Yeah, dude. You never done snow
We
tubing?
flew out of the boat. I know.
It's
I'm gonna
amazing.
die.
I'd rather have a
Bryce is
field
gonna say
direction.
Break the speed of light.
Basically, I just want to do death-defying things that could possibly kill you. So that's pretty much where we're going with this theme of things. But I think anybody here, all right, let's reel it in, guys. Anybody here who went whitewater rafting, I think we had a stinking blast. Like, it was amazing. It was fun. We had some people get thrown out the rafts and still stay alive, so that's great. But it was a blast. So don't think that you're too whatever past that to do that because it was amazing. We had a blast.
If you're worried about having an embarrassing moment, we all had.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Trust me.
And I can't
We all had moments.
So, we're also, in the future, as we continue to grow, we're gonna have more of a budget for these types of things. Not for maybe at least for one a year, like a retreat type deal. That may even be an overnight deal that we're looking at. So, or going to a conference together, a worship conference, and that kind of stuff. So we are looking at that. Again, campus life is very different from our main campus, and coming from there to coming here is just been a blast. So it has. It's been great. I actually enjoy it because I feel like I'm more cut out for this campus work than because here it's like, if something happens here, everyone can notice. If you screw up your job at a place like Long Point where there's 5,000 people coming through on a weekend and probably 5 other people that are helping you do what you do, it may not even be noticed. So it's a machine and it runs itself. Here it's like you are the machine, and if you aren't, it's very obvious and noticeable and that kind of thing. So, but all that to say, I want to grow with you guys and get to know you all better, and we're taking some steps to make that happen. So overall, just some facts about our campus for those of you who don't know. We are up.
Can I ask you a
Yes.
question about small groups?
Absolutely.
before we move on?
Yeah.
Tell me the day of the week and the time again, because I ignored everything at the beginning because
Okay.
I was getting married and I was more worried about it.
No, that's very
I was
important.
Small group, who cares? I got my own small group.
Small group is Mondays. The worship arts small group
Monday,
is Mondays at 6:30 to 8:30.
Okay, thank you.
And right now, it's going to be at Shauna Morrison and John Morrison's house, at least for the study of the book.
Okay.
Is going to be so next week. So 2 days from now, it'll be at their house.
Okay.
And then the next week it'll be at the church. Next week it'll be out in February. They've also volunteered their house again. So those first 2 weeks in February it'll be there again. They live in Lake Carolina, so northeast side of town.
Me too now.
Lou can walk. Not really. Because I was driving in Lake Carolina for almost 15 minutes just to get to their house last time. I'm like, oh, they just live like 6 miles away. Surprise, after you drive 6 more miles inside of Lake Carolina. No. So just some campus info for you guys. I know we've thrown this number out a lot, but we're up 40% in average attendance from this time last year, which just needs to be celebrated because I think that's awesome.
Yes.
Like, that's really good stuff. Hey, we have, and you got playing this next Sunday, and we hopefully are going to have one every week now.
Is this
I'm
Kyle?
hoping. It is not.
Oh,
No, but he's playing 2 weeks though.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
nice.
Actually 3, I think. So 2 or 3. So he was awesome. That was really good stuff. So
Yeah, so miss that guy named Jeremiah.
what's that?
I so miss that.
Yeah, yeah, it was great. Yeah, we got a guy named Jeremiah. He's going to be coming next Thursday to rehearse for the 7th. So y'all make him feel welcome as he comes. So thank you, Russell. But yeah, so 40%. Worship plays a huge part in this, like the growth of our campus. I strongly believe, and like Greg, as our pastor, believes like worship has always been the heart of Seacoast Church. Always. Like I believe maybe even more so than the message. Now that's not to say we're the most important ministry, so like we have to do the best job, but it is to say that we do need to be leading our church with grace and with excellence and with strength, because what we do matters. Like I've told you guys 1,000 times, I get Connect cards every week, and the general theme of every week is love the worship and coming back. Like that's 90, I would say 80 to 90% of the time what the Connect card says about first-time guests. Now that just says, hey, we're doing a great job. We need to continue pressing forward in that area, but it also says like it puts a lot on us because it is important, and you know that is with us having, because I look at it like this: anybody can sit at home and watch the same message that we're watching at church on their computer at home or on their TV at home. They do not have to be here to get that. What is the difference in sitting at home on your computer and coming to a campus and experiencing that? Well, you got live worship, right? You don't have live preaching, you got live worship. So I think that I absolutely think it's a huge part of what we do. I may be a little bit off in saying that with such a high certainty, but I strongly think that's what, seriously, am I wrong?
As a worship leader, you are a little biased.
I'm just saying though. We can sit at home and watch live. Like we can get the same message. You know, it's not the same feel, and you're not in a church body and community like God says to be. So yes, that's a huge part. Okay, but I think as far as like the live aspect, like worship is huge. It's a really big part of the worship experience here. Yes, I agree. Absolutely. Yeah, it is. I agree. So yeah, just keeping that in mind, like what we do is very important and it needs to be taken seriously. And I just put like I believe God is calling us to be excellent during this season of explosive growth that we're experiencing at Columbia, and just to be good stewards of the resources that He's given to us. And then, you know, I use the word excellence a lot, and it doesn't sit right with some of you guys, and I realize that. But what my definition of that means is just giving our all and our best to God, and that will look like being excellent in the grand scheme of things. And if any of you have questions like about what I mean by that, let me know. But that's not meaning that we've got to be perfect. It's not meaning that we're always striving for perfection, but it is meaning that you know, we need to be prepared. We need to be on time. We need to be just all around well-rounded as believers. And when we step onto that platform, it needs to be your best. Is what that means for me. So, and now I'm going to hit some fun things about that. So, preparedness. Practice needs to take place at home. Even if you played a song, musicians or singers, 50 times, and you know it like the back of your hand, you still need to prepare. I do throughout the week, and so I expect you guys to do the same. So whether you are on the drums or the guitar and you've played the song 50 times, still touch the song and hit it, and then come in ready to own it. I know that I pull away from that a little bit by the chord charts, and I know that we're really not even supposed to have music stands on stage at all, but I've been getting away with it just as we've been growing together, and we're going to continue. I'm not taking away the chord charts or anything like that, because I myself can't memorize music, and I've been trying since I was 13 years old, and I can't do it. I've tried systems. I spent the entire last year getting yelled at, trying to figure out how to memorize, and I just can't. Maybe it'll come one day. You know, I've even, it's something that I've prayed for a long time, and songs that I've been singing, like I said, since I was 12 and 13 and 14 years old, like some of those classic Hillsong songs that I should know like the back of my hand. I can't remember the chords to save my life. Like it just, I don't know if it's because there's thousands of songs in there or why I can't, but I can't. So,
Wait until you get old enough to be your dad.
yeah. There you go. So,
That requirement is kind of a double standard, really.
what's that?
I say the requirement to memorize everything.
Yep.
For the musicians, it's
Yep.
really a double standard because the singers have the words
On the screen. Absolutely. Yep.
If you guys want to start putting word charts in there,
Yep. Which we can.
Well, I think
it doesn't work out very well.
But I think
Yes.
that goes for everybody because I try to memorize the songs that I'm singing because the screen could go out at any time.
It
So
does,
I try
and
to
that
make
and
not be a
that's
crutch.
exactly right. Now that is true. I get what you're saying, Bill, and that's totally true. But again, like I want singers, and let me hit the singers real fast. So musicians, just rehearsal should take place at home. That's why I've tried to get away from the word rehearsal when we come together. I really want it to be thought of as a midweek run through. Run through meaning that we get together, we run through the songs. Literally, that's what we do. We run through the songs. We're not now. Obviously, if it's a new song, that's different because you do have to rehearse and learn together. But we should be able to come together, hit the songs, and they should be pretty dang close to being ready to go for Sunday. Both times that we run through. That's the idea of run through. So rehearsal needs to take place at home, and I know that's a big commitment. Like that's you know you're not getting paid. That's a big commitment to take time out of your week on top of being here on Thursday for run through and Sunday at 7:30 before anybody else gets here at the church. Like I realize it's a big commitment, and you know, but again, it all goes back to like how important what we do is. Like it's huge, and so God has handpicked you guys. I believe that. To be here for this time and this season with us with Seacoast Worship, and you guys are all doing an awesome job. And so just keep it up. But I'm just going to hit these things just as reminders. But singers, you know, taking time to learn the songs, the harmonies, the different elements dynamically of the songs for vocals, and this goes for instruments as well, but vocally, you know, I can't stress to you enough to get the words into your heart. Get them from here into here so that when you step up on that platform to lead that song or to sing background vocals for that song, it's more than just you reading off of a screen. It's more than just you singing a song, but it's you putting your heart on the line and you putting yourself out there to lead God's people into His presence. That's what it's all about. And it's the same with instruments. That is your voice. Your instrument, you know, and your voice is your instrument, vice versa. So I really want to challenge you guys to start, if you're not already, getting these words, even as a musician, even as just an instrument, into your heart. Really reading what they mean. Like we take a lot of time to pick through and find these songs that we say, hey, this represents Seacoast well. This is good. So it's more than just words. You know, there's a reason behind it. Just like I said, I've seen time and time again, and I'm sure you all have, how a song can touch someone in a way that a message can't. And how God can use worship to just totally wreck someone and start to rebuild them where a message may not do that for that person, you know? So just to hit those things, I really challenge you guys to do that.
Can I ask you a question again?
Yes.
Sorry. One thing, I know I'm new. I'm probably
Yes.
the newest one. But one thing that can be difficult is not knowing when you want harmony and when you don't. And
Yes.
so then we figured out after we sang the song at run through once or twice. And it might be helpful if before we run through it,
Yep.
if you tell us ahead of time.
Absolutely.
Because I can prepare a harmony through an entire song.
Yeah.
You just tell me when to sing it when I show up.
Yep.
So sometimes I'm singing at the wrong time, or
Okay.
I'm singing with you and I double up what you're doing. I'm like, oops, you know.
Yep.
And so maybe before we sing it, if we
Okay.
could just take 30 seconds to go, you know, I need you to come in here, here, and here.
Yes.
And then
Okay.
I got it, and I can write it down.
And
it might be hard.
sometimes I do that, but sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, again, and I'm in the same mentality of what I was talking about. You know, hey, we played this song 20 times, where I might not remember. Well, Danielle's never sang this song with us
Right.
before, you know.
Yeah.
So I just expect
Mm-hmm.
you to know what to do. So as a general rule for vocals, harmony on the choruses and the bridges,
Okay.
and I will start doing better in Planning Center in the vocal notes tab of putting in where I want harmonies.
Perfect.
Can that be helpful?
Yes,
Okay.
very.
Now, as far as Planning Center goes, I want to hit that real fast too. Do you guys feel like you utilize Planning Center for all that it's like intended for the most part?
I do know.
I do.
Okay. Because I know some people, like, I'm still getting these comments like, what time was this meeting today? What are we going to talk about at this meeting today? And, like, all that's in Planning Center. Like, I put what we're going to talk about today. I put the time. So, like, and if I come back kind of like, hey, check Planning Center, I'm not being rude. I'm just being honest. Like, it's all in Planning Center.
This information
So,
is available to you.
exactly, yes. So just make sure that you're utilizing, really dig in Planning Center and
I'm a Planning Center geek. I
yeah,
look at it every day.
like they have stuff online, like tutorials if you're not sure how to do stuff. I got an email about a seminar the other day in California, like come have a Planning Center day thing. Like not that that's what we need to do, but I'm saying like you can learn if you try. And again, I'm terrible with technology, but I've figured it out and I love Planning Center to death. I'm a geek at it too. So like I find new things and I'm like, oh, this is cool. Let me
I'll
do
look
this.
at it if it says Evan Henry updated 18 minutes ago. I'm like, ooh, what did he update?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's even features like for Chris. Chris isn't here today, but Chris is always like getting on to me about this, like because of the lights. There's even a stage plot design, like of our stage that's been drawn out digitally of our stage, and I plot where you're going to be at there. And I don't do it every week, and I'm going to. That's another thing that I've got to start doing along with vocal notes. But so that you come in, you know right where you're going on stage, and that's more for vocals because the instruments don't change too much. But
Well, no, it's also for us.
well, no, absolutely, yeah, for you guys. So you'll know, hey, you can start programming the mics, changing the names and EQs, and Chris can start setting the lights up. So that's going to be in there too. So it's under, I think, stage preference, something like that, stage design, something like that. So it's on there. So there's even little things like just take a look. I would encourage you to take a look around and just kind of surf around the website, figure it out. So there should always be a chord chart in whatever key we're going to be playing in. There should always be an MP3 or a YouTube video of what we're going to be doing. Now, granted, they're not, because we do stuff in different keys, it's not always safe to say, learn this riff exactly in this key. But the key will always be right unless it's changed on the fly or whatever. The key in Planning Center is always going to be what we're going to do it in. So, yes.
Just a quick suggestion regarding all of the charts. This would take time to change. If you need help doing it, I can help.
Okay.
But putting the number system along with the chords would help the musicians a lot as well. I mean, I think all the musicians in here are somewhat familiar with the number system, right? Instead of
the chords.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I don't care about the numbers.
I mean, but you have both. If you have both of them in there, then you know that, once 1 4 6 5. If he changes the key, it's still in the same.
They don't, it's not, that's not a,
Everybody,
yeah. So,
It won't bother me if it's there, but I'll never.
okay, yeah. I guess it'll just be easier for us to write them in right now.
Yeah, I mean, if
I
I'm
actually
the only
can't-
one that uses it, then it's fine. I mean, I don't know,
Yeah.
but it may be worth. I mean, I'm not saying that like it may be worth learning it at some point because it really did help me
Robbie did
during the.
a night
Yeah,
Yeah.
workshop.
or workshop, and he went over the numbering system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called the Nashville Number System is what we're talking about for musicians, and basically what you can do is a song usually has a progression, G, D, E minor, C. So 1 4 6 5 would be the number system for that. And if we're in the key of G, okay, so the progression's 1 4 6 5. Let's take it to B. The progression's still 1 4 6 5, and now you know that it's going to be B.
B, E, G sharp, F sharp.
Okay.
So it's a transposing tool.
It's a transposing tool, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm totally
That-
interested in learning.
That's what it is. I just spent the last year learning it. Obviously, I didn't learn it very well because I didn't.
I learned
It'll take me
it.
time too.
I learned
But-
it a few years ago, and it
Yeah.
saved my life many times, especially when he goes, "Hey, we're just gonna play this in G." I'm like, "Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know exactly what it is."
So
I don't have to,
instead of
the job and stuff.
you having to get another chord chart, whatever. Oh, okay, 1 4 6 5. That's what it is. But
You can also flash a number up
Yes.
to know what chord to go next to. or
yes,
what key.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It sounds like something putting a tool.
I think it would be a worthy investment if this year we could all all try to see if we can learn the national numbers.
Probably be a good workshop item.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe later.
Yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be cool. So as far as that goes, so preparedness.
Here.
You guys here?
I just said I'm
Sweet.
waiting for the food to come.
Awesome. Can you get in?
Yeah.
Here.
You don't know the national number system, do you? It's just
1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
He's right there. Don't have a receipt, I think. And then get an itemized. Okay. Awesome. Where's it at? Okay. So for 10 more minutes, and then we'll eat together. So let me hit the next thing. So just preparedness. Knowing the songs when you come to practice, and not taking time by playing what you're supposed to know, which I know sometimes it's on me. I get that, but for the most part, I don't want to hear you trying to figure out what notes to play unless I've just asked you to learn something on the fly while we're trying to go through run through, because it just takes time. It aggravates me. It aggravates other people because it's taking time. So just come prepared with it. Thank you, sir. And we'll be good to go.
And
Yes.
I'm going to be the first to say that I've done that a lot of times, and
I've used
I
it
really
a lot
needed
of times.
I really needed to make sure that I learn a lot of stuff from home. But I will tell you this: the only reason why I actually kind of am practicing those riffs on the Nord
Yes.
is because I can't take the Nord.
I know that. Yep.
So,
And that thing-
trying to listen to
Yeah.
how it sounds on the Nord, and so maybe not mute me so much, or just at least mute me in the house and not in the ears, so I can just continue to practice. Because there were actually last practice, I was literally trying to practice something, and you kept muting me, and I'm like, I'm trying to figure this out.
Yeah. So it's just a little bit frustrating because even if he does,
I should have.
it's a little bit frustrating because even if Lou mutes him, it's still in our ears. And if
Yeah.
I'm trying to talk, I still can't focus
That's
because
true.
someone's blaring in my ears, and it's just a pain to have to keep doing that over and over. So, as a general rule, now I realize that you are, figuring out patches because that thing is a stinking crazy computer. But
I am going to try to fix that by coming early from now.
and you are going to be here.
Yeah, I'm
doing
going to
the
be here
lessons and
early
stuff, so-
doing the lessons,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna try to do those riffs before practice starts, so then that way
Yeah.
I don't have to do them on stage while you're trying to go.
That'll be good. But just as a general rule, know the songs when you come to rehearsal. That's
So
or
one
to
thing
run
I
through.
want to speak to that is,
Yes.
I'm not a musician, right? I'm in sound booth.
Yep.
So I have a different perspective.
Mhm.
But a lot of times what I see is, hey, we're going to go through the song, and oh, wait, it was different on Planning Center.
Yeah.
So we're going to run through it this way,
Mhm.
and I want you to do A, B, and C, and D, E, and F.
Yeah.
But one thing I don't see is everybody jot it down.
Yeah.
I see a few people, right?
Yeah.
And that might be your style. But then come Sunday, it's like, hell, we got to go over this all over again.
Exactly,
Because
and
nobody
which-
wrote it down.
Yep. That's
or
good.
We
That's a
don't
good
have
point.
notes about it.
I
So-
appreciate that. Yeah. I try every week to have a pin on your area, so just keep that in mind. There's a pin there, and I've said that before. I don't know, but you're exactly right. That's a good point to hit too. Just make sure that you're taking notes on what I'm saying to do. Even vocals, whether you have chord charts or not in front of you, grab a piece of paper and write down, hey, I'm coming in here. I don't need to sing here, etc. So notes are just always a good idea, and then you take that home Thursday, and you've got Friday and Saturday. Come back Sunday, and you're ready to, if it's something that you just absolutely didn't know. So taking notes, that's a great point. Thank
Well,
you
the
very much.
music stand app for the iPad is really going to help
Yeah.
me out on that a lot.
I love it.
And I'm going to tell you guys right now, for those of you that haven't used it yet, it is phenomenal.
It's
When
really
you guys
cool.
actually come to practice, you're probably going to agree with me because it's the Planning
It's a
Center
music stand app.
music stand app. And each one of you, when you're up there, you have your own iPad, and not only can you zoom in and do a bunch of crazy stuff with the actual music, but you can also take notes on it. And it doesn't have to be with your finger. You can literally type it in.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
really cool.
I have terrible handwriting, for one thing. And the other thing is, when we're actually playing on stage, I don't even look at the music anymore. I'm actually quite the opposite when it comes to the music stand, is that
Yeah.
I use it for practice because I'm trying to figure out the chords. But as soon as that's done, I don't focus on that anymore. So that's the other reason why I didn't really take notes a lot, was
Yeah.
because I'm trying to focus on the pads and whatnot.
But note taking is
But
great.
Note taking is
It's a really good idea, and something that we should all be doing. even if you think, because I've heard 1,000 times, oh, I'll remember that. You don't. 9 times, well, maybe not, but I'll stop throwing numbers out there because I'm probably crazy. But most of the time, that's not, you're not going to remember. So notes are good.
One other thing, since I already started.
Yep.
When you're tuning your instruments,
Yep.
Sean, you can just turn down if you don't have the mute switch or something.
That is me.
But yeah.
And this
It's
guy.
just helpful.
Yeah, me too. And let me hit that also. Stringed instruments that have to be tuned, drums as well. That needs to be done before the countdown starts and you get on stage. And I know I've done it a couple times. What I do now is I walk back here, do it, and then go back out there. First of all, your tuner's going to freak out unless you're plugging directly into it because it's picking up all the noise around. So if you've got an electric or an acoustic guitar that's not going into a pedal, it's going to do that. So just make sure that when we're done with Run Through Sunday morning, you're tuned, sit your instrument down, and then you're ready to go for right when you walk up on stage. You know that it's already good to go. You don't have to worry about doing that during the timer. And
One other thing about the countdown, normally I have everything up and ready, right? So you walk over and start talking to Steven on the keys, on the mic. Not saying that's what happened, but there's no mic.
yeah, no, and
You'll hear it in the house.
I've told him 1,000, and I've done it too.
Or
And yep.
if you're tuning your instrument or you're strumming, playing key, whatever, it's just going to come in the house, and I got to bring it down.
Okay.
I got to vouch for that. My voice carries as it is, so
Yeah,
whenever I'm
mine
like,
too.
laughing about something, it goes straight to the house. So,
So just be aware of those little things too. That it is hot, and
I'm not
so
sure.
that kind of stuff.
Right off.
I always have it dead because I have the exact same problem. So I had it dead until about 5 seconds.
For the musicians, I have a suggestion for that. I'm just learning how to play like the bass and what have you.
Me too.
I'm just saying it's a small little $35 piece of thing, a piece of equipment called personal monitor, and you plug it directly to your instrument, and you have a set of headphones that come off of it straight to your hair. All you need is like one headphone in one ear. You want to practice some licks or something like that. You can disconnect from the house, and you don't have to really. I mean, it's a switch. You just disconnect from the house. You play your little practice lick. Still listen to Evan. So when he's like saying, "Okay, let's try this," and you're not in limbo land when he's ready to go out. Just click the switch back, and you're back connected to the house, and that earphone is turned off, and you're still got your in-ears in the whole nine. I can bring it in Sunday and show it to you guys, but it's a personal monitor. It's a small personal monitor, and there are several different types out on the market. I use this one because it's small, it's compact, and I don't need an amp. So like, if you don't have, I got an acoustic guitar, so I bought it so I could just hear it. But if you have like a standard plug-in amp guitar or something like that, this is it's a simple device. It's real small and compact. You can even put it on your pedal board. Hook it right in and run it through that. So just a suggestion. And again, I'll bring it in Sunday and let you guys take a look at it, play with it, what have you, and see if you like it. But that still isn't an excuse for not practicing at home or anything like that. It's just in case something brand new comes up, Evan wants to try to experiment. You can practice it on stage without disturbing anyone else and disconnecting it from the actual system.
Cool. All right. So we're gonna grab some food. That was weird. It's right 12 o'clock on the dot. My clock was.
This planning center,
Yes.
we used to be able to see all the plans every week.
Yes.
Now you can only see yours.
Okay.
Which I know we ran into something one week where I had to play and I couldn't see any of the song lists.
Okay.
So that was something.
All right. Well.
I was going to say that too because I had to decline this meeting at first. So that's why I texted you this morning. I was like, we're still on, right? Because I didn't want to come over. If not,
Okay.
I couldn't access it because I had declined.
Really?
But then things changed and I could come.
Okay. Well, let me ask you all this collectively because this is going to be, this is something that we did, that I did, decided on, but I'm not opposed to the idea of adjusting some stuff again. The thing is, so there's scheduled viewer, which is what everyone is right now, and there's viewer, and there's editor, administrator, whatever. So basically, what I was running into was people were being kind of nasty and being kind of rude and not Christ-like, if you will, about other people who were being used more than them. And again, I already explained the situation, the availability thing. And I got sick of it. I was like, this is childish. Everyone is going to be able to see only what they're accepted to, and that's it, because there's really not a reason for you to be able to see every other week. I mean, there's not really a purpose behind that necessarily, but what it does is it takes off the people tab, apparently, right? You can't see people. Isn't that the problem we've been running into? You can't see.
Like, 'cause I don't want to see the people, but I do want to see the songs, like in case something
Yes.
happens and I have to be trying to call in or something.
Exactly. No, I understand, and I think it honestly has.
What fixes that is, like, when I had to fill in for Josh on Thursday.
Yeah.
Is just add me to that day.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
and then I can accept it, and then I can see it.
Yes.
So if you're going to fill in for somebody,
That's got to be like the first thing to happen.
right?
Yeah,
you gotta add
Okay.
that's what has to happen is you have to be added immediately.
I like being able to see more so I can practice songs that I didn't actually.
I understand. I mean, there's definitely pros and cons to both. Yeah, there's pros and cons to both. Now, I don't know. I mean, basically, I'm not opposed to making us all the same thing, but I really am going to be really ticked off if I have to hear some of the same stuff again. That's the thing. So, like, if you guys can, and I'm not saying it's anybody in the room here. There was more than one person who was, well, I just don't feel like I'm one of your top choices to sing, like that. Like that should not be coming out of people's mouths. Yeah.
Every time you say this, I get a little more angry, and I'm just like, take a walk, man. You
So,
must suck, man.
no, or this person plays more than me, or this like that's not. You guys have put yourself in my position. You got 30 people. How do you rotate 30 people equally so that every person is used the exact same amount of times throughout the month? You can't. And it's singers, and that's what it is, and that's just is what it is. Musicians, we're pretty good on. We've got backups for most of the instruments, and now on the tech team for most positions are pretty good now. We've got a couple people, so if someone leaves unexpectedly, like it's not going to shut down Seacoast, like we were not in a good place this time 6 months ago, let me tell you. Some people have been serving for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks without thinking that, oh my gosh, I can't even go on vacation or be sick because what's going to happen? You know what I mean? That's not a good place to be in. So, what's up?
I was just going to say, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just.
Hey. I gotta be real quiet.
Can you turn her up? Other one.
Yeah, he's turning you up. Hold on.
All right.
That's as loud as it goes, for real. Let me tell you how dedicated that woman is, though. She said, she's about to be watching us eat, too. Hey, Tori, we'll feed you a sandwich through the camera, okay?
You got the translate now.
Okay.
All right,
I think
y'all,
everybody
hey, let's
just
be
has to
really quiet so I can hear her, okay? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as a team, you know, we may need to attack that so the team doesn't have room to bring division amongst our team.
That way you're not doing it alone.
Yeah, I understand. And I honestly, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I can do it again.
She said, "Boom." No, so yeah, and that wasn't like just the thing that led me to do that. I mean, I looked and like that's how a lot of other campuses are set up actually, but is the scheduled viewer, and that's what it automatically does too when you add someone is like what it defaults to, but that is true. I mean, that's the thing that that I just don't want to have to deal with, and I may have to, but that I don't want to have to hear about is why is this person doing this? Why is this person doing this? Like I told you in the beginning, like it's honestly like it comes down to again preparedness, availability, heart, like all that stuff comes into a thing, and not that anyone is not, I think, in a place to be on the platform or anything. That's but like all that stuff plays into again, and it's just hard when you've got 15 singers to get into some type of rotation.
And then,
So
and then you have the opposite problem. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a level of skill that's developed. You know, I mean, there is that in a sense. You know, like we all have a passion to be here on the worship team. We all have a passion to want to be a part of the worship team, but there is a skill level that needs to be set for that. I mean, Evan just talked about how important it is for us to maintain the integrity of our worship, and so that people have the experience that they have, and you can't have that without building the skill levels set first. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing with the people that are coming to practice on the keyboard, is to give people the same opportunity that I'm having on the keyboard that I was given 5 years ago when I didn't really know how to play either. But at the same time, not throw them into a position where they feel like they're being overwhelmed by the situation. So, you got somebody that's got a lot of skill that is frustrated because they don't feel like their talents are being used. You also have the other side of it where you have people that have the passion but don't necessarily have the talent. They just kind of need somebody to support them and get them up to that position. So
They need additional coaching.
and so I encourage all of you guys, whether it's singers, guitarists, bassists, anybody. I mean, Russell, I don't want to pull you out too much on that, but I am not a conventional keyboard player either. I mean, you should hear how many notes I miss because I have fat fingers and I didn't train myself properly. So, I mean, dude, I've got them too, brother.
I'm going to show you them real quick. Bass hand.
hey, what's up? Yeah, and that's actually, Glentoria, that's good that you said that. We're actually, we're running 4 singers this weekend, and I think that's probably going to be the best thing to start doing every week, just to give more, because we have so many singers. So is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Yep. That's good. Yeah, that's actually what I've talked about that. That's going to be that's going to be a good thing for us to start doing, just because there's so many of us. Absolutely.
I definitely agree with Glentoria about the whole putting us on scheduled viewer when we were viewer before. I don't know, it kind of sounds like everyone kind of, now that we have an idea of why, like some people might like feel like it's kind of a timeout for everybody because of that.
I understand. Yeah.
And I mean, like Lentoria said, like if someone's feeling this way and they can't see the person, that's not going to stop them from feeling the same exact way on Sunday. And I mean, I don't know, like depending on the person, they might be even more enraged not knowing about it and then like showing up on Sunday, or like even if they are able to see it, like that, you know, just grows and grows and grows until Sunday. But I definitely feel as if that needs to be addressed and it needs to be talked about, because I mean, if you have like a jealous boyfriend or girlfriend, you're not gonna like be secretive about your text messages or your phone calls, you know. You're gonna address the situation, be like, listen, this is what it is, you know, and this is how you need to take it, and this is how it needs to be handled. Because I mean, I don't know about you guys, but in relationships, you don't put up with that. Like, it's just not healthy. So same thing with this. Like, we're all like in not a romantic relationship, but we all have like a relationship. Yeah, right? We're all like
Romance is right here.
yeah.
Well, and listen, and what you're saying, and we're gonna eat right after this, I promise. What you're saying, this is why we're having this for these types of things, because I can't physically get to all of you and know who I've talked to and who I haven't talked to when you've got 30 people, and so that's why we're having this, to address some of these issues, and try to iron out some stuff and just create us tighter as a family, because you know I don't really feel like email is the best way to go about some of those things, you know, like, hey, surprise, since you're jealous, you know. So
That's also,
and I mean, maybe it is.
it's an individual thing.
Yeah.
Hard issues, we're not going to deal in a group of 30 people.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
Right.
but
Yes.
Service, this is a period and moment in time where you have a skill and a gift. It is not going to be in your life forever.
Yeah.
It will eventually go away, and you will be given other gifts. And while you're having the opportunity now to share this particular gift that you have in this particular time, even if it's one time every quarter, do it with your heart and do it to the best of your ability, and be glad you got the chance to do it that one time. Because there will come a point in time, and I've told Lou and Josh, my ears are going. I'm not going to be able to do sound like that. And because I can't hear the notes, I can't tell if it's good. It may sound great, and I can't. And it's how I started in serving the church. And it goes away, and it just happens. Your voice can go, your fingers, you get arthritis or whatever else. Be passionate about what you do, but enjoy it. Don't be jealous about it. Be jealous that the congregation is getting you that one time, however many times they get, make every Sunday special for them. Because it isn't about us.
Yeah.
It's about them. Because that's who we're serving.
That's really good, Bruce.
that's exactly what I was gonna say too. You just have to.
Hey, Spencer. Something
think-
popped up.
I think sometimes, you know, we need to remind ourselves and we need to humble ourselves, because like what we do, like you said, has nothing to do with us. And like, I mean, to me, it obviously we impact the congregation as a whole, but when I'm up there and I'm singing to God. I'm not singing to the people in front of me. Like, I'm praising God, and I just feel like people just need to remember that that's what we're doing it for. We're not going up there so people can see us up there and be like, yeah, she's on the worship team, he's on the worship team, she plays this, he plays this. We're not here for that. We're not here for the spotlight. Like, it's honestly sometimes, and I talked to you about it, sometimes I wish we didn't have a light on us, because it's not about us, you know. It's not. And we just sometimes we need to remind ourselves that, because sometimes, and it happens to everyone, sometimes it could get into your head a little bit, and we have to make sure that we continue on humbling ourselves, because it's not about us.
Exactly.
Before we eat.
Yep.
Okay. The one thing that I was going to say is that we also need to prepare our hearts while we're preparing.
Yep.
So that's the first thing I do. If I'm ever on the schedule, if I'm not on the schedule, is that I'm really like in the Word, like God prepare my heart for what we're about to do. So that's something else that we kind of need to be thinking about, because if your attitude's not right, then obviously we leak, and so people are going to see that, like, oh, that person's on worship, but where's their heart, you know? So I think we need to talk about that a little bit more, and then also I feel like God talked to me about us handling our personal offenses. So we should all be at some point, at some time, able to go to whoever. If I have a problem with Katie, if she offended me, if she has a problem with me, I'm just using you as an example. I've never had a problem with Katie.
No one's ever had a problem with Katie.
But I feel like as a team, we need to get to the point where if somebody has offended us, we can go to them before we talk to somebody else. I feel like there's some triangulation. So
in a loving
if I have,
way.
yes, in a loving way.
Not
So
U18.
grace and mercy. What I'm saying again is that we should be able to handle our offenses in a way that is godly, instead of, you know, well, this person offended me, so I'm going to talk to Evan about it without going to the person, because that's not fair to them. Like, I feel like I have a relationship with Spencer to where I could call him up and say, you know, hey, Spencer, remember the other day when X, Y, and Z happened? Can we talk about that? Because, like you said, it's not an email thing, but we got to get to the point where we are a team and we can talk to each other without saying, hey, Evan, I have a problem with this person, because we're all adults. And I feel like God really challenged me to kind of talk to the team about that, because it's very necessary if we're going to actually be a team. So I just think it's something that should be addressed.
I think it's important to remember to be open, because if you're doing something wrong and somebody approaches you about it, you need to be able to accept that and be able to be like, you're right, this is wrong, because you want to grow.
Yeah, that's the thing. And we're going to hit that talking soon, too, after lunch. The gritty stuff. No, well, during lunch. So just real quick, last point.
I want to talk to you about your time management skills.
Yes. I feel like I'm always here on Saturday. So just with that being said, we're going to bless the food, and also just food for thought with everything that we just said. Whether you are on the stage or off the stage, people are watching you.
Yes.
All right? People know who's on the worship team. They know who's involved with worship. You are, if you're in the congregation worshiping, people are watching you to see how you worship. People look to us, and I've noticed, and I've seen it happen. I mean, I did it when I was a kid growing up, and I mean, you look to those in positions of leadership, which is what we all are, for guidance, for example. So you need to have the same heart off the platform, out of the booth, that you do when you're in a position doing what you do for the Lord. So just always know, and this goes to, and I told y'all about the being out thing, you know, I don't want to hear that anyone was drunk at a bar downtown. Like, it's the same thing. You know, people are watching you in the... Amen. People...
Tori, do you have something to talk about?
Yeah, like, you know, people are watching you in church, outside of church, on the platform, off the platform. So you need to live your life with the same heart and integrity that you have when you're working on a Sunday, when you're worshiping on a Sunday. That heart needs to be, if it's fake, hit the road, because we don't want you. I mean, that honestly, you know? So that's just be thinking about that as well. That's, you know, so, you know, I don't want to get a call about this happening, that happening, because I hate to get into people's business like that, but at the same time, it's got to be dealt with. I mean, you have to, you know? So just keep that in mind, that you are watched, and it's sometimes just kind of terrifying, because I try to be as real here as I am outside of the church, but that's kind of it's kind of scary sometimes, because, you know, we can slip up so easily, and it can lead someone away from Christ just like that, because we're in a position of being senior and of leadership. And so just, you know, always keeping that in mind wherever you're at. You know, don't be cussing nobody out in the line when the traffic bad downtown or whatever the line, because somebody must see you, you know. So but we're gonna bless but we're gonna bless the food. We have Jimmy John's chips and drinks, so I hope you guys have enough to eat.
I'm gonna eat all of it.
And there's vegetarian, there's ham, cheese. There's vegetarian ham, cheese, and roast beef to my knowledge, and the sauce is on the side, mustard, mayonnaise, oil, and vinegar is back there. So bless the food. If we can, just to save some time, I would like to continue to talk while we're eating, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah.
All right. So God, thank you so much for this time. Thank you for just being here with us and helping us to have the words to say today. We love you. We just pray that you would just help this food to keep us strong so that we can continue to live for you, Lord, to the best of our ability. We love you. Thank you. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Ladies first.
Just so you know.
You have any deep things?
It was like the least likely person. That's why I chose you, because I was like, that would probably be Katie.
I love the fact that everyone came to that. Yeah. That made me feel good.
Like,
Check.
Like you're gonna know.
So to continue talking about, I want to hit some kind of dirty stuff, if we can, going along the lines of what we were just talking about, as far as the talking behind backs and having nasty attitudes about that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to gripe on it for a long time, but it does need to be addressed. It's been brought to my attention by more than one person. So basically, is Tori still with us? Okay, cool. Well, let me hit the rest of the standard of just how we're doing things. So we hit preparedness. Being on time is that was good timing. Hey. All right. Did you enjoy your 5-minute lunch break? All right, so yeah. Oh my gosh.
I think you already did a little bit in your mind.
Oh man, that is awesome.
I'll receive it.
All right, so we are jumping right back into just kind of what we were just talking about. So being on time, please listen to this and hear this. Please respect us all by being on time. I know that it's a lot to ask, and I know some of you guys are coming across town from Lexington and from Red Bank. I don't even know what that is, but it's a place apparently. So, and I know there's people driving 45 minutes, but just know that that's the dedication that you said when you signed on and when you said, hey, I want to come to Seacoast Church. So just please always try to compensate for those things. I guess so. Yeah, you can. I'm just kidding. Yeah, grab one. So I know that we can never know what's going to happen traffic-wise, and there's those things, but please, 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 I've asked this, and you guys have been pretty good about it. Call me or text me if you're going to be late, and let me know why, and let me know. We have really got to get to a better place. I've been trying to do this, but it just seems like it never happens, but it's going to have to start happening because it's getting kind of ridiculous. The 7:15 and the 7:08s and the 7:21s and all that needs to stop happening because it's wasting all of our times. So call time for Thursday run through is 7 p.m. If we're missing the drummer, we will start with vocals or we will start with acoustic stuff and have all the other instruments play together. And as hard as that is going to be to do with the tracks or with the click or whatever, we're just going to have to do it. That's when we're going to start. We are going to try to hit, metaphorically, 4 drumstick beats, whether he's here or not, at 7 p.m., downbeat at 7. So that's when we're going to try to start as close to as possible. So please, we are in a bad habit collectively, everyone, and I say that with certainty, that the majority of people do not show up until 7 o'clock on Thursday nights. All right? So we need to make sure that if your instrument takes 10 minutes to set up, that you're here at 6:45, sorry. That you're ready to go 10:45 at 7 p.m. So please all hear that, because, I said this whole thing with, hey, if you're late, you're going to sit out on Sunday. I think that's a little bit not really
Extreme.
It's a little extreme, and it's not the best thing for us, because exactly, it's punishing all of us if I do that, all of us as a team, and it's punishing the congregation big time. So, and I don't really feel okay about doing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just not going to use you on the schedule the next time, is what's going to happen. I think that's the best thing to do. If you're late on a Sunday morning, if you show up at 7:45, you're going to play and you're going to jump in where you're at. But if you were on the schedule next week, I'm going to find a replacement for you. I'm going to sit you out. I think that's the easiest and best thing to do, because there has to be some type of rules. Because if there's not, it's going to happen what's happening right now, where we're not getting started till 7:20, and people just think that they can kind of walk on the times because it is what it is, and they're prepared and okay. But there's got to be, I think, is that fair? Do you guys think that that's fairer than saying what I said before, that you're not going to play, which I haven't stuck to one single time? So, I mean, is that okay?
So basically, we just need to get here at 6:45 because vocals need to warm up.
Basically, you need to be here. Basically, you need to be here at 6:45, and you need to be on stage by 7 o'clock. And I am vowing and committing to you guys to do the same thing. That I'm going to be here. I'm here at 4:30 to 5 every Thursday, getting everything set up for 7 o'clock. But on Sunday mornings, I know sometimes I've had a tendency to show up 5 minutes before and open the church up. That's going to stop happening too. We all need to be, and y'all are sitting in your cars, that doesn't need to be happening. I need to be here with the door open at the latest 7:15, at the latest. Really 7 o'clock is great, and I've been trying to.
Give someone else the assignment of opening the church, so you don't have to be here.
That can.
Give one person that assignment, and they go on planning center, so everyone knows who it's supposed to be, and that's the person that is here at 7:15.
That's a good idea too. But regardless, time is important, and we need to be respecting the call times. They're not there for fun. They're not there because that's the time we want to relatively start. They need to be respected. So call time on Thursday for midweek run-through is 7 p.m., which means we are going to start at 7 p.m. Unless there is a huge technical difficulty, and we've been working on it since 6:45, and we're still trying to figure it out, and it's holding practice back. 7 o'clock. Sunday mornings, as of right now with our service times, 7:30 a.m. is the call time for run-through on Sunday morning. So 7:15, be here, be getting ready. Is this a huge problem, or are y'all about to rip my head off for this at all?
I would just mentally say, okay, I'll be here at 6:45.
I think it needs to be addressed just because, and maybe I need to change the times in planning center to those times. I mean, does that?
I think that would be a great idea.
Is that better?
Yeah.
To be successful.
I mean, there's a huge benefit to starting at 7 too, because
That's
I know.
when you say that, you need to start at 7.
And just like I said, I take responsibility, guys, too, because I wait on the drummer, I wait on the keyboard, I wait on the vocals, I wait on whatever. That's on me, and it falls on me too, and I take the responsibility for just as big of a part of it as the people that are being late, because I haven't kept to my word of starting. I've waited on them. So like I said, whether it looks like us vocally getting ready, or whether we just start and I'm playing acoustic and Bill's on guitar and Steven's on keys, or Steven's gone or the bassist is gone or whatever, we're going to try to start, and it's going to suck, but what it's going to do is it's going to make everyone a little upset and a little, it's hurting everybody, and hopefully people will start realizing, hey, this is what's expected of me. I've got to be here at this time. All right? So that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to harp on that for a long time because trust me, I could. So I'm just going to read this. Respect others' time by being on time. Respect God's time because we're doing this for Him, right? So I know this is earthly time. God doesn't operate in time. You can throw out whatever you want to. We're here for the Lord, and we're here for His work, and we need to respect that calling and Him and me and Seacoast by being on time. So that's just what I'm going to say about that. It's not fair for others to be early, have all their gear set up, I know people have been upset about it. I've been hearing it, and it's upsetting to me and to you guys and everything. It's not fair for those people to be early set up and ready to go on time, and then you come waltzing in 5 to 15 minutes late regularly, or just, even one time, and then just jump in like nothing happened. Like, oh, you guys are waiting on me. We're here. We can start now, because that's been on me not starting when we should have started when I said, okay. That also makes it kind of seem like people are more important than other people, and that's not what we want to do either. That's not the deal. Being on time shows that you care enough about what we're doing as a worship team to do what's been asked of you. It respects God, what He's instituted. And then I just put, we will no longer wait on you to arrive to start run through, even if you are the backbone of the band, which, let's be honest, that's, bass, drums, whatever, right? So,
I'm just going to add one real quick thing to that.
Yes.
I just recall one time that we actually did start at 7, and for some reason, not for some reason, but we were all prepared for those songs. We literally got out of practice right at 8 o'clock.
Yep.
We normally get out of practice at 9 or 9:30. We got out at 8. Yep. I was like, wow, this is great.
So that's what I'm talking about.
There is a huge advantage to that too.
And again, too, we got done 15 minutes early this past Thursday, and we started at 7:08, so we were close, but still not 7 o'clock. So we need to be. And my promise to you guys, and this has been, we have done the 9 o'clock. I'm looking at Bill because he always keeps me in check about the times. he's my clock. I cannot remember the last time that we did not get done by 9 p.m. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah,
pretty close. We might have had 1 or 2 times. So my vow to you guys is, if y'all are here at 7 and we start at 7, like I'm saying, we will be done with run through by 9 o'clock. No questions asked.
To go along with that, and I don't know if this is another agenda item coming up, but Sundays or Thursdays, we need to have a single worship leader. It's worse when you're not here.
Yeah.
Because everybody's piling in, and it becomes incredibly frustrating for
I've got
all
it.
of us.
Yep, I've got it. So 7 on Thursdays, 7:30 Sundays. I'll make the appropriate changes. All right. Also, everyone knows this has not been an issue. People have just not showed up. So that's good. That hasn't been an issue of people being like, oh, I forgot that I was on this weekend. The emails go out at 10 a.m. the day before practice and the service. So this morning at 10, anybody who's on the schedule for this weekend should have got another reminder saying, hey, 7:30 tomorrow, you're on the schedule. Wednesday at 10 a.m., you should get a reminder that says, hey, tomorrow at 7 p.m., you got that. So just be checking those. They'll come to your phone if you have it set up, come to your computer. So that's helpful tools too. I just said if you're late, the run-through will start and you will jump in whenever you get there. The times I call and schedule are not estimated start times. They're in place to be good stewards and to respect everyone as much as possible. We will starting at these times, and the consequence for being late will be you not being put on the schedule the next time I would have put you on the schedule. So that's going to be, and I am going to keep track of that. So, and you can say, well, have fun replacing, and I will. It's going to suck, and I'm going to be upset about it, but it's going to happen. Worship will go on, so. I just said the original rules I said about the, just not having you that hurts everyone, and that's not a cool place to be. So that's the new deal. Okay, so having an open heart and mind. Sometimes you'll be asked to do something a little bit out of your comfort zone, or a little different from what you were used to. I may have you lead a song and you've never led a song before. I think that's some of you guys' cases here, singer-wise. Instruments. Malika's like,
don't look around,
so that may be out of your comfort zone. And if you don't want to, I'm not going to force you to do what you don't want to do, but I am going to ask that you step up to the plate, step up to what I think God has for you and what I want you to become as a worshiper. So have an open heart and mind to those things. Have a good attitude about those things. I don't want to hear, oh my God, I can't believe he's making me sing a song this weekend. If you really don't want to, let me know, and I won't make you do that. I don't want you to be angry. I want you to be challenged weekly. I don't want it to ever, and if it ever becomes so easy for you that you don't think you have to prepare vocally or instrumentally, let me know. And that's some stuff that we can do to start challenging ourselves, And the same with you guys. I know y'all get into a routine, things run this way. You've got your your deal. I want you guys to be experimenting with different stuff. See how you can create a better mix. See how you can create more visually stimulation from the screen and cool lights and Chris.
No flashing lights.
Yeah, we did adjust that.
You gotta be careful with that.
Yes,
I went
we did
for
adjust
how
that.
about in 3D?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I want you guys to feel like you have freedom to stay freedom, but also to stay within the realm of, what's been asked of us. Exactly. Keep it coasty, yes. So, please do it with a good attitude. I may ask you to sing a different part than what you hear naturally. And that harmony is just irking you, but I want you to try it with a good attitude and go for it. I may ask you to play different instrumentation. I'm on Bill and the bassist and the drummer all the time. Y'all hear me in the keys. I'm saying, hey, I think this will fit a little bit better. And you guys are great at responding to that, so just keep that up. So that's what I have on that. Attitude, I just said, always come with a good attitude. If a bad attitude is made known, you're going to be held from the schedule if it's keeping you from, having a good attitude, right? And if it's something that needs to be addressed, bring it to me. We're going to get into that again about bringing it to me. But do not take it to other people. I don't want to hear you talking about anybody behind my back or behind the team's back about how you feel the leadership is not doing the best job possible, or you think that this is how things should be done, etc. Come with a good attitude. And then finally, we want to worship in spirit and truth. So come expecting to experience an encounter with God, because he will show up, and he always does. I ask that you truly worship when you're on and off the platform, whatever that looks like for you, whatever position or capacity that you serve in, singing, instruments, and then obviously our sound people are what keeps everything running. So our AV guys, just keeping in mind that you're being real in the building and out of the building, right?
We have to be nice people at work too.
Yes, ma'am. Y'all have to listen. I can't hear a word she's saying. Yes. Okay, yeah, that's a good question. So, I was actually talking to Chris about this. So, Bryson, I can use you as an example of this week. I had Bryson scheduled for a song, and the more that I thought about it throughout the week, the more that I was like, I think that this other song that someone else is scheduled to sing would be better for her voice. So, I know how you guys sound. I know your voices. I've sang with you before. So I try to pick songs that suit your voice, but that also challenge a little bit. Making you sing an E, for example. You're not laughing.
Yeah.
Why not?
He's smiling now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be serious.
So no. But I think through all that stuff. I don't just throw someone on a random song because I'm like, oh, this is a female-led song. Let me throw whoever the female is on. You know what I mean? Because I can just as easily put in a male-led song and I can sing it or whatever. But I want to challenge, and I want to figure out kind of the realm of where voices are going to sound good. Does that answer your question, I think, or? Yes. Yeah. I get what you're saying. She froze.
There she is.
That's because you froze. You froze again. You're freezing. No, yeah, I totally understand. And that's something that I'm going to be working on too. Is giving different songs out. I get what you're saying. Yeah. There's a couple songs for a couple people that are kind of like, it seems like that's their coined, like, song that they sing whenever they sing.
Say what you will. I think Spencer does a phenomenal job at singing Born is the King. That's all I gotta say. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
I just want to point out, it's almost February, and we're still singing that song. I told you, we will know it by Easter. We will still be singing it at Easter.
Do it. I'm so mad I wasn't here for that. Like,
So, real quick, guys, too. As far as the songs go, let me just hit this real fast. We have been given a list by our main campus for all of Seacoast Worship. Right now, it's 75 songs large. The idea is to iron it down to 25 songs that are Seacoast songs that we worship to. A new song will be introduced every month, so 12 new songs throughout the year. And then I am allowed to either choose a hymn, which we did last week, or a campus-specific song each week in the set that's separate from those 25 and 12. It could be, yes. So, that being said, know that if you ever wonder why we do a lot of the same songs, it's because they are our Seacoast worship songs. I have freedom to choose the set each week, which a lot of multi-site churches don't have. I know for a fact, just to use New Spring as an example, because they're all around us, New Spring's main campus in Anderson sends out the set list, and every New Spring campus sings the same song every week. So we can be blessed and be excited that we have the freedom to do that, and I don't see our worship ever going to that place because that's not our culture, and that's not what we've created as Seacoast Church and what Greg has done. So as far as that goes, we do have songs that I choose from, songs that I think we do well, and we are implementing new songs like we did Hope of the World. I thought it went over really well. We're going to do it next week. The congregation responded like really well. I was super pumped about that. People were really worshiping, and that's actually an original Seacoast song. So just know that that's where I'm kind of at with songs. So I'm not, just choosing the same songs because I love those songs. It's not because I don't have the freedom either, but it is. I do have to stay within parameters of what Seacoast Church has said we can worship to, if that makes sense. So they're all, everything is put through a filter. Is this our theology? Is this good, statements for our church, etc. So that's the kind of stuff that all that stuff goes through. So, and it does keep us in that one church feel, because I feel like for so long there are campuses that I know that are like totally gospel, like that's all they do, and their congregations are more heavily on that side, and that's not going to change necessarily. Their worship is going to change a little bit, but they still have the freedom to choose those two songs of their own that their congregation responds well to. That may not be what Long Point is doing or whatever, if that makes sense. So that's that. So I just said, coming spring, your act of worship can be running sound, can be playing a guitar, can be singing, can be putting words up on the screen. That is your act of worship. So just know that I want you to feel free to worship in those areas and to really, obviously, again, there's this balance of holding, consciously knowing where you're at and what you're doing, but being able to let go. Like the other day, this past Sunday, Kelvin just got taken up, and he was just drumming and just didn't even come in on our halftime jam. And so I started it by myself. And I looked at all the band, and I was like, 1, 2, you know what I mean? Because Kelvin, he was over there like this. I looked over, and I was like, oh, Lord, he got it. So like, that's a perfect example. Like, I was not mad at Kelvin. I did not go, what the heck are you doing? Why didn't you come in? I want you guys to feel free to worship. Exactly. And again, on that note, well, I'll shut up. I'll save that for later. And finally, have fun.
You said it, man.
Yes.
We're going to have fun.
So, have fun with worship. Worship in any of your capacities should not feel like hard work. And I feel like I broke it down and had a meeting with a few people for a couple of weeks about that, of how I kind of caught myself getting into it kind of being like work and preparation, which that is work. It's what I do for a living, quote unquote. But it's like, I don't ever want it to feel for you guys like I am expecting so much of you guys, or it has to be so perfect that it's a job. I never want it to feel that way. And if it does, you guys just make sure that you're letting me know, hey, this is a little bit crazy right now. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to be honest with me about that kind of stuff. So, rather, I want it to be fun and enjoyable. I want you guys to have a blast. And I think we have been for the past couple months. Like, I've been having a blast every week that we've worshiped together. Like, we're jumping around. We're being more excited, more energetic. We're letting loose a little bit more. And that's what I'm looking for. And that's where I think we're going in 2016 together. We're going to take this this campus to just through an explosion of growth and worship together. And I'm super excited about it.
So where are you putting the next parking lot?
Yeah, that's the real question. Well, we're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to get a few more people coming to the early service because that second one is just nuts. And what I was gonna say, yes. So I made an announcement to the team. I've been asked by Chris, so you can take it up with him if you don't like it, for anybody that is volunteering in a capacity that Sunday to park in the grass or out of the parking lot as much as possible, unless you physically can't walk that far, which I know is a problem for a couple people, but that's okay. We need to be parking in the grass until we get our capacity situation figured out. Until we get, and we're making another announcement. We're trying to shift some of these late service to the 9:30, just to balance out, because it's literally, I got claustrophobic last Sunday in the second, and I don't even get claustrophobic at all. Like, I was walking through greeting people, and I was literally like, just trying to get back to the back of the room because there was people everywhere. There was so many people. And I think there was like 246 people in that one service, and we only have 39 chairs in the auditorium. And there were a few open chairs because people left and stuff, but we don't want newcomers to come in and go, well, this is not a church I want to come to. They don't even have a place for me to park or sit. That's not what we want to happen. So I encourage you guys that aren't serving that weekend, if you can, to try to attend an early service. And if you're serving one and attending one, attend the early, serve the second one, because that's really what we need right now, is we need that early service to fill out. And then what we're going to do, just real fast to hit this, is when Easter rolls around, we always do 3 services. They're always packed out. If we're continuing to have capacity issues, we're going to hit an 8:30, a 10, and 11:30, and we're seriously considering sticking with those 3 services once Easter hits if we're still having the same issue. It's a good problem to have. It's a frustrating problem to have until you know how to deal with it, but that's kind of what we're looking at. And I know then we're going to have to start looking at, obviously, different ways with worship, because that is all day basically at the church. It'll be the same time, but you'll be there a lot earlier. Call time would change, all that. So exactly, right? Exactly.
Sleepovers the night before.
Yes.
And guys, unless you have a low riding car, if you do, please let us know. There is a way to get on the grass.
Yes. I have a little Honda Civic, and I've never scraped. So
my car is actually so low that whenever I park, it usually hits the little bumper things, and I don't realize it until I'm backing out, and all I hear is oh. So the other weekend when I did park up there and I was getting out, I thought the front of my car was gonna fall off.
See, we don't want that.
So if you could tell me of another place.
I just need to show you. We need to show you where it is. So right after
I went through the front.
It's the lowest part of the ditch where it's actually not a ditch.
Well,
You just,
they put little flags up.
Yeah.
Like little driveway.
Okay.
Reflectors.
Yep.
I just saw those today.
Well, I will try this.
And if your car, because I know I don't want you guys to mess up jack up your cars. So if your car can physically not make it in that grass because it is so low, we need to park in that section where the water is usually because there's no painted lines and you're not stealing a spot. That's about 3 or 4 spots right there.
Personally, I'm gonna have to bring different shoes to wear to get into the church.
So,
And change once I get here.
Okay.
I know it's a sacrifice right now, but this is the season that we're in, and we need to handle it, and hopefully it'll take care of itself.
What about
When you go
carpool?
to an additional service, you're gonna need
Well, meet at Dunkin' Donuts and ride it
More what?
together.
you're gonna need more tech.
Yes.
Because
That's
now
right.
you
Do you
can
need
really
someone
get
to, like,
into a
pick you up
burnout
on it?
situation.
Yep.
It sounds like you have enough singers
You
Yep.
can let me
that
know.
it
Absolutely.
won't be such a you know, that, but
Yeah.
you're continually needing more people so that they don't get burned out.
Yep.
It's real easy with three services and a Sunday.
Yep.
Sunday.
I agree.
Let's say if you're doing it every
I agree.
single Sunday, I could.
Yeah. All right.
And I can attest to the burnout thing because by the end of Christmas,
Yeah.
I had it.
Lou said, I'm just going to block off all of January. Thank
I
you.
had it and I started complaining.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, if
So-
you ever do feel that burnout thing, hesitate.
Yeah. Let me know. You got, that's the last thing that I want to happen. Okay. Let's rein in our conversations real quick. We need to. I'm just going to hit some things very fast, and let's try not to jump in too much right now because I know it's getting close to time. Exactly. And I don't want to keep y'all here all day, and I've still got a couple things just to go through.
Evan, I've got a hard stop about 1:20.
Okay.
Keep a lot of time.
Okay, I understand. And again, just hold tight, and I'm just going to go through some of this stuff. If you absolutely feel like you need to say something, I don't want you to feel like you can't. But I just want to run through some things. So let's be excited about worship. Let's look excited, especially if you are on the platform and people are looking at you. Let's smile. Let's clap. Let's have a good time. That's that.
Even in the booth, people turn around and look
Yes,
at
they
Oh, I know.
us.
I know.
And
Look
at you.
yeah, but they're like little kids. They're
I look
turning
at you
around
guys all the
looking at
time.
you. There's a part of me that's like, if I'm really serious about it, I'm like, I have to force myself. Please stop. Smile.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, naturally, I just look angry all the time.
You do look
And, like,
angry
I don't
all the
mean
time.
to, but, like, this is just my face. I'm just like, that's just my face. And I'm like,
But
Yeah.
I'll tell
as
you
far
to
as
fix
keeping
it.
time down, we have to watch our
Fix your
conversations in the booth because it does carry.
Yep.
So we
People
have
in
to
the back row can totally hear whatever we say in the booth.
yeah.
Yep.
So we just got to be extra mindful about that because folks will come up.
That's right.
Also in the lobby, because
Yeah, you can hear people.
can't remember why I was
in
out
service,
there,
you can hear-
but the worship team was basically out there
It was
and
loud.
just talking about what happened. It
Yep.
was a great. It wasn't anything wrong,
could
and then
hear
I
it.
had to open the door and come in, and people turned around. I didn't realize it was so loud.
Yep,
but
exactly.
It's hard.
So let's
to
just be
remember
mindful of that kind of
Open
stuff.
the door on Sunday morning, it sheds sunlight into a place
Yeah.
where there isn't sun, and so it's,
Yep.
if people are in and out all the time, it is.
Yep, I agree. I'm going to hit dress code really fast. We haven't had a big problem with this, but I have had just a couple things, and this is for the females, so I'm sorry that this happened. But we guys are usually a little better because we don't wear things that girls do. Anyways, so only deep V's and tight pants, but that's beside the point. So let's just remember that we are seen again. So especially now, I'm going to take it to the platform again. You are elevated above the rest of the congregation. It's not so high like at some campuses where skirts are an issue, or we don't have a balcony where low-cut shirts are an issue, but we just need to be conscious that it can cause men in the congregation to stumble if you're trying to look so beautiful and wear, what you would wear out, whatever. We just need to be mindful
what if you
that.
just naturally look like that?
So, I'm not saying not to look beautiful or anything. I'm just saying, we need to be mindful that people are looking, and
Strong and independent. I don't need them.
oh my gosh. So, real quick, clothing, it can very easily, the last thing we want to do is to be gawked at and pull away from the worship experience. That's bottom line. So, guys, I'd have to say this, just if none of us do that, I know that it's had to be addressed, but just watch if you have low-cut shirts, watch if you wear extremely skin-tight clothing. Girls the same. Skin-tight clothing has been an issue for females in the past. Let's just make sure that we are not wearing skin-tight clothing. I'm not saying that leggings or tight jeans or whatever that you wear, but we need to watch, if you have to peel them off, it may be not the best thing to wear on Sunday.
I do not want
And
to
that
be
goes for me
controlled.
too. No, but seriously, so just I have unfortunately had to hear it from a couple people in the congregation that the skin tight clothing has been an issue a couple times. So let's just keep that in mind. I'm not saying that you can't wear. I know girls wear form-fitting pants. I mean, it is what it is. I get that. I'm not saying not to do that. I'm just saying try to think about how much of your thighs / legs are showing, and if it is skin tight, make sure that it's covered down to your knees.
Yes.
It's safe. If you are wearing leggings, knees down, that's all right. Does that make sense? I'm not the kind of guy or person who notices these kind of things really. So if you're doing it, I normally, because I just dress so casually and we all do, I'm just like, oh, that looks fine. Like, you're not inappropriate. You're not showing any skin, but we just need to be mindful of the tight clothing. So skin
that would be awkward.
Yes. And it's also awkward for me to pull one of my women aside and say, hey, because I don't feel right doing that as a man. So, because then it's like, well, I didn't really notice this, but, okay, so please help me not to have these conversations, which is why I'm doing it in a group. Just watch the skin tight clothing, nothing that's low cut or revealing cleavage, etc. Modesty is the name of the game in worship and in church. So modest is hottest. That's always my thing. There you go. So as a general rule, if you're questioning anything that you're wearing, it's probably not the best thing to be wore at church, right? If you're saying, should I wear this? Probably not, right? And again, we just want to try, and this is not a huge thing with us because we're not doing video and that kind of stuff, but darker clothing is generally the best too with all the bright lights and everything. White is usually the worst thing that you can do. Now it works at our campus again, but just you're going to light up like a stinking Christmas tree if you wear white on the stage, no matter what. So grays, darks, blues, that kind of stuff are the best colors to wear as far as all the lights go and that kind of stuff.
Wear white gloves or white shoes.
No. Okay, I'm going to hit this next one. I'm just going to read through what I've written because this is from my heart. This is dealing with some issues that we've had regarding my leadership, I guess, and being where I'm at, that God's placed me at the head of Seacoast Worship, right, for this campus. So I just said, and this is not, just hear my heart, please. Understand that this is from my heart. It's not a legalistic standpoint or, I hate that it even has to be addressed because the last thing I want to do is be like, I'm in charge. You have to listen to me because that's not who I am. And y'all know that. But I feel like this does need to be addressed. So just hear me, and this is from my heart. And if, just let me get this out. So I just, God has placed me as the head of the worship ministry here at Seacoast Church. That is a fact. That is what that is. All right? There's no arguing with that. Okay. While I may be young and could even be some of your sons, He has still placed me here for this season for a reason, and I feel like truly for the first time in my life, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Like, I've never been happier. I love being with you guys. I love serving you guys. And, my past is another story, but this is the first time in my life that I've really felt in the center of God's will. All right? So with that being said, I expect you guys to respect me in that position. I show you guys respect as much as I can, and I just expect the same from you guys in return. Recently, we have had some issues with this, and I've had some people coming to me that have heard rumors or just simply saying nasty stuff about the team, about people on the team. Now, if this applies to you, take it to heart. If not, let it fly. But it needs to be said. It's ending today. Any rumors, any talking behind my back about worship, any answering questions for me, any leadership decisions that are made outside of me knowing, it's ending today. All right? I just can't be silent about it anymore. I haven't had one of these meetings because it's hard to get everybody together, etc. But no one, and I mean no one, should be speaking for this ministry or for me in place of me. All right? No one should be answering questions about the worship team in my name, or this is what Evan said, unless I have given you permission and said you may, like for Marquita and Brianna for the small group, if you have a question about it, they can also answer it because I'm in the loop of everything. If someone comes to you and say, why is this happening? Why isn't this happening? And this has happened, people are answering for me. And then I'm hearing from staff members, from people in the congregation, did you really do this? Did you really say this? Please know that that does not need to be happening. And if I find out exactly who it is that's saying stuff, it's going to be dealt with swiftly. All right? I hate that I have to be like this, but it has happened. There's one head of this ministry. It's God and it's me, and then it's the people that I have placed in specific roles, or all of you guys collectively. So I hate to have to put it so bluntly, but I'm just really tired of hearing about people speaking for me. I really am. It hurts me because I feel like I'm not respected, and I feel like I'm kind of walked on a little bit by some people. And I don't think that that's the heart of anyone here. I don't think that the intent is to speak for me, or I think it's probably just being helpful in the long run, or they're speaking on something that they may know on, okay? But ultimately, it needs to be directed to me. And I feel like maybe I haven't been clear enough on letting you guys know, like, you can come to me about anything. Seriously, I want to know. Send me an email, text me, call me, set up a meeting. I'm super available. You guys know that. I'm by my phone 24/7. I always respond, do I not? If you have a question, I am like that. It is what it is. It's a fact. I'm very good about that kind of stuff. So please just get it to me. If there's questions, no one should be the mouth of Seacoast Worship except for me. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Are we all on the same page? Mm-hmm. All right. If someone asks you a question about Seacoast Worship, bring it to me. If you know the answer, bring it to me before you respond. Yes, sir.
I serve on another group as a volunteer. It's a national group.
Okay.
The most interesting and desperate thing is when you have a question from someone, you're desperate to want to answer the question.
Yes.
And you think it's helpful.
Yep.
And one of the hardest things to do is say, I don't know.
Yep.
And that's
great.
What Evan is trying to say is the most respectful response is, I don't know, I'll get back to you, or else I'll have somebody get back to you.
Yep.
It'll most likely be Evan. Is that okay?
Yep.
And that is really the best way to respond to someone who has a question about Seacoast Worship, and that's what Evan's asking us to do.
That's what I'm asking, guys. Seriously. And I hate to be so dirty and blunt about it, but I feel like I have to because it's really the only way.
I don't think you're being you keep apologizing,
well,
but
because y'all just know that I'm not so.
Yeah, but,
I don't want to have to be like.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I'm the boss because I'm not. I don't look at it like that, you know.
Yeah. You don't.
But
sound,
it's
you
got
don't
to a
sound
place
like that,
where.
You're the mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when we all speak, if we all speak as one person, the person who is supposed to be the spokesperson.
Yes.
Yeah. And so the easiest thing for us to do is say, I don't know, even though sometimes we want to know, and say, ask Evan.
That's awesome. So that's all I'm asking. I don't want to harp on it. I just, all that to say, if anyone in the congregation asks you why someone isn't singing, these little things that you think don't matter, they matter, and they always get back to me. Always. I always find out about it from someone or some way. And it just needs to stop because it's not Christ-like. It's not what we should be doing. We should not be talking or making any type of leadership decisions or answering leadership questions without me knowing about it. That's basically all I wanted to talk about because it's seriously been probably a little more serious than you guys know because I haven't addressed it yet. So just with that being said, if you're asked anything of importance regarding this ministry, it needs to be directed to me. Any questions or comments regarding leadership, come to me. Anything that could affect this ministry, cause division, cause any type of malice toward each other, needs to be directed to me. All right? If someone walks up to you and says, why has so-and-so not been on the stage in so many months? Do not answer for me. Mm-hmm. Tell me about it, and I will see. And again, now this is the congregation. They need to also know that they can come to me about that kind of stuff, but they won't. And people are always going to talk behind my back and behind our backs, and I realize that, and you can't stop it. It just is what it is. And I realize that. But we, as a team, need to keep that under reins as much as possible to keep any dissension from spreading or letting the enemy in our camp. So that's why I needed to address that.
I was going to say on a different note, but on the same concept. I hardly agree with Bill because I find myself in the shoe a lot when he was talking about us on stage, and when there's a conflict in the song, we try to always voice out our opinion as musicians, thinking, well, this will be the best solution. This will be the best solution. We're not really trusting you to come up with that solution. And so, I was actually thinking about that when Bill first brought it up. We were eating lunch. I was kind of thinking about what would be a good solution for that. I think what might be a good solution is using the Slack software, using the app in between Thursday and Sunday. That if we have something that we think would actually make the song sound better, we address it to instead of trying to do it directly on stage and getting everybody all confused.
Sure.
So I think on that note, it's also
It's a huge time waster.
It is. It is.
To some extent.
Yeah.
And it's worse when you're on a holiday.
Yeah.
You can't practice Bible reading.
Yeah.
And that's what inevitably happens.
Exactly.
When you're gone. You appoint leaders, but everybody's piling in.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
difficult.
And, that's what I really want to rein in and for you guys to understand that, ultimately, yes, I have the final decision, but I love getting your guys' input because I want this to be liked and fun and enjoyable by everyone. And for that to happen, I need you guys, obviously.
But you'll ask us.
Yes.
If you want an
Exactly.
opinion from us, you'll ask us.
And just like I've
We don't
told you
have to
all,
sit there and
and just like I've told you all, I don't pretend to have all the answers or know what I'm doing. This is my first time doing this for a living. So I'm walking through this, learning every day how to make things better and what's better for us and that kind of thing. But just all that being said, please know that is my heart and that is my will, that anything that could affect this ministry, any leadership decisions, anybody speaking anything about this ministry, I need to know about it. All right? So that's that.
I apologize, I have to go.
Okay, thanks, Bill. And then I just put as right here, there should be no gossip or rumors going around related to anyone on this team, about this team, involving this ministry. I hope everybody understands that and we agree to that. So, all right. Related to leadership again, as it pertains to worship, there is only one worship leader per song. All right. Now, it's not me. I need to explain this. So I'm the worship leader, yes. And I should have the freedom to take a song where it wants to go, even if someone else is leading that song. But whoever I have entrusted to lead the song vocally, who is singing, directing the congregation in the song, has the freedom to talk, has the freedom to take us to a new place, depending on whether the Holy Spirit's moving, etc. But we cannot have 3 people all talking, all singing over top of each other, all trying to lead if it is not your time to lead. Does that make sense? Now that's directed toward the singers right now is who I'm talking to. All right?
Okay, so I feel like I kind of understand what you're saying, but what about if there's a break in the singing and everyone kind of just gets the feeling to spontaneously worship a little bit? Is that a problem?
I don't think that's a problem. I think that, yes.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
I honestly think what I'm saying is as far as we've got to understand that the congregation is listening to us. So say, Malika, you're leading a song, okay? You have background vocalists that are singing with you. It's what's happening is that some of the background vocalists are trying to take us to a place or trying to speak to the congregation and encourage and that kind of thing, and that's not the job of that background vocalist at that point in time. That's what I'm saying. So the background vocalist is exactly that. The background vocalists, they are there to support the worship leader of that song. When it is your time to lead that song, then you have the freedom to speak, to direct the congregation, to take us to a place that the Holy Spirit is moving. So I just think that needed to be hit because that's been happening a little bit. Nothing too serious or anything, but it's just important. There's one leader for the song. Now, ultimately, I have the ability to change the direction of it if I look out and I see that the Spirit's moving and maybe the person leading the song isn't in tune to that or not exactly seeing what I'm seeing. Then that, and you guys know that as far as sound goes and stuff that usually keep me pretty hot. But basically all I'm saying is we don't want to step on each other. Mm-hmm. We don't want the background vocalists to be, come on guys, let's sing together. Yes, it's encouraging and yes, it's awesome, but in that time, it's not your place to do that for that song.
Also needs to know we have to be looking towards one person.
Yes,
to lead that
that's the
song.
thing too. It's so hard. Exactly, it becomes.
If everyone on the stage begins to do their own thing, it's
Yeah.
Adam too.
We need to be unified.
I got nothing.
Yes, so we need to be unified in that. Know that when you are leading the song, that is your time to lead the song. The other times, you are for support, you are worshiping, but you are not the worship leader of the song. Does that all make sense to all my vocals? Okay.
Address something about background vocals.
Yes.
Me and Marquita were talking about this. When you do background, not leading the song is, sometimes I think that can get to people, and I think that's the enemy's work there. But it is literally a privilege because people watch you just as much as they watch the leader, and you don't realize, but your presence makes a difference, and where you've been with the Lord that morning makes a huge difference.
That's great. Thank you. So, just meaning that, that person who is leading that song is directing the band, the vocals, and the congregation, that one person, right? The only time someone should direct our congregation is when they're leading the song. And then I already said that I will always give a certain freedom to the worship leader of the song, take the song where the Holy Spirit is leading them, if our congregation is being led in a certain direction. So whether we have tracks, whether we're doing whatever, the time for that is most likely going to be at the end of the song, or, once we've worshiped, because if the Spirit is moving, it's going to continue to move, right? So that would be the appropriate time. Obviously we can't just go off into La La Land halfway through the song and start singing a chorus 12 times, you know what I mean? Now, that can't happen, but I'm saying the majority of the time, the Holy Spirit's moving. We're going to continue to usher that flow by continuing the song and repeating choruses or repeating bridges and that kind of thing. So we always have that freedom, and I don't want you guys to think that we don't, because I know I use tracks a lot and I use click a lot and that kind of things. Now that just keeps us tight as a band, and that's just there to color the music and to give us a little bit of support overall. But they are not everything. They are not life. They are not our worship. So just know that we always have that freedom, and don't think that we're so structured. Time is as much time as everything is timed out, and you have 1 hour and 15-minute services. As much as that is, we're never going to quench the Spirit if it's released into the congregation and people are just, truly, if God is truly moving. Like, I'm never going to say, okay, well, worship's done now. Sorry, God. You know what I mean? So we're not going to do that. I've always said that if God prompts, don't worry about the tracks, the band, etc. We will follow where you take us. As a band, as a team, we're going to follow the Holy Spirit. So this is something to always be aware of, not just during response time, but anytime during worship. Anytime. I think that's pretty much what I have for the meeting today. And then just a couple things for you guys, just remember how can I better serve you guys. Does anybody have any comments, concerns, suggestions that can help maybe make the worship team better for everybody? Something that they see that could just be really beneficial to us, or maybe something that I missed. Maybe.
It's just a suggestion. I
Yeah.
don't even know if it'll work, but it just came to my mind. As far as the holiday services like Easter, Christmas, goes, maybe have teams of people. I don't know if Brody knows that teams of people. But if you have maybe one team sings during one service, and then another team sings in another service, and then another team sings from one service, or whatever, that'll prevent burnout. And then everybody will have a chance to sing, and you won't have people saying, oh, I want to sing along.
I swear I didn't tell that idea to anybody else.
Yeah.
That was a God idea.
I think that's a good idea, and that was my goal with the choir for Christmas. And I just want you guys to know, so side note real fast, the choir was bomb at the Christmas service, so good. It was awesome. It was great. And yes, we have the
You guys should
recordings.
record it for me.
Lou recorded all the tracks. They're at Long Point right now. They're being mixed. I don't know when we're going to get them back, but I have somebody working on them. What I want to ask you guys to do, this is not now, I'm not taking up money or anything, but we need to give them something for doing it for us. It's literally thousands of dollars for the process. Now, we're not doing mastering, mixing, having CDs printed, et cetera, but it is a very time-consuming hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of process that they have willing to do for us, because we want something that is Seacoast Columbia worship, that is, hey, this is us, we did this is our sound, that's what we're wanting. So what I was thinking is, when the time comes and the tracks are ready, if we could all take up an offering for the person who is mixing down there. I was thinking, I mean, even $10 a person, and you've got a CD out of it. I mean, you can't buy a CD for $10. You know what I mean? And it's yours. You can burn copies of it. Now we're still trying to figure out, can we sell it to our congregation next Christmas? Can we do this? Can we do that? As far as Seacoast music is concerned, now this is coming from Long Point, etc. It all has to go through them if we wanted to do anything like that. But it's going to be for us and our congregation, from what I understand right now. And like I said, it could be Christmas time before it's done. I don't know. I'm not going to ask because they're doing it out of the kindness of their heart, and I'm very surprised that they are. Not that out of the kindness, but that they are taking it on. So just letting you guys know. But yeah, so that's that. And yeah, as far as that goes, I'm not opposed to the idea of doing that. I think that it would make more sense if we had 4 services to do 2 and 2, because with the odd number, I just don't honestly think it would be very practical to switch 3 times for each service. Now, if it was just vocals, that could be different. That could be manageable. But as far as like all instruments and vocals goes, that's totally different mixes, different sounds. That's a lot. That wouldn't be very practical for us. Vocally, though, yes, we can look at that. And also, I definitely want to have the choir more involved throughout the year, not just on special services. Definitely. So I'm looking at that. Maybe quarterly, we could have, or maybe even we could take it old school and have specials, like choir specials, because I love it. I think it's awesome. So that's if that helps at all. I'm not shooting you down, I promise. Maddie?
I was just going to suggest, like, I've done this before, but if you could have someone film you or is that good or bad for you? Mom? Is that good or bad? Anyways, but when I was worship leading a while ago, Brad would film me every time, and I would catch things that I did or didn't do, and it was really helpful for me. So that was just something really cool. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be like something done by the church, but it was just like a friend, or you put like a little reading station.
Well, let me stop you right there first before. Yeah. Let me stop you real fast.
Two reasonably decent high definition cameras and a whole portable sound system. So if there is a need, my problem is you can't call me on Sunday morning and say, can you bring it in?
We understand.
I have to know Friday so that if there's anything at the office I need to bring in, I can bring it with me.
Okay, well, Natty, let me say this. We want to stay away from personal videos being taken in the congregation, and that's coming from me and from Chris, actually, because that's been an issue in the past. People have got their stinking flash blaring, and it's distracting, and they're holding their phone up, and it's like a rock concert, and we don't want that. So we want to stay away from personal friends and family taking videos of us. Now, Brad will occasionally stand in the back of the room and take a video. Now, that's a different story.
He's done it in the front.
But I know that, but he doesn't do it anymore as far as I know. And we just want to stay away from that. So if we do, it would be great to have something set up in the booth or in the back of the room that's getting the whole deal, audio, etc. But I talked a little about this. We're getting more trying to get toward a system of being able to record services and then being able to just upload them to Slack or to burn a CD, and I can get a CD out every week, and you guys can have that to listen. It's just going to be rough house mix, but it is what it is, and it's better than nothing.
I think even
Exactly.
looking at your stuff, you can see what you're doing.
And a video is even exactly.
I know a lot of times, like, we think we're really clapping, but from the back of the room, we kind of look like this. So it just like makes.
And it's a general rule for that too, everybody. Like, and I'm not the one to really speak about this because I'm not super energetic or anything because I'm kind of tied down with guitar and mic. But like, what I've heard from multiple people is you need to be twice as big as what you think big is.
Except for Spencer.
Except for Spencer. But if you ever look at Spencer, he's got the full clap going on. Like, that's what we need. Because that is looking exactly.
I was going to say overhead clam every time, and you got it.
Usually though, when you think you're being eccentric and big, you're not. You're just being like normal. You know what I mean? So, yes. Yep. So
It's like it's sometimes I've noticed just being in that room. I think audience wants to start clapping, but nobody on stage is, and nobody wants to be off beat.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and 'cause
2 and
it's-
4, 2 and 4.
yeah, but what if you don't know what that means? So, I
Make sure we
really
bring
like
the
it
snare
when
up.
Stephen claps. 'Cause
Yeah.
he
Calvin.
goes
You
that
can
big,
definitely
like,
see
and
it.
it's
You do
big, and
Yep.
it's like everyone goes along with it and stuff. So
That's like
Um,
that's kind of hard though, because I know naturally I'm really laid back.
Right, I
and
mean,
I'm
I am
just-
too.
I'm
Yeah.
not a whole like, yeah, like naturally I'm just like, okay, like I'm taking this, you
You're
know.
on the microphone.
But I can't
So.
play bass that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
what I'm
Yeah.
asking,
Yeah.
because, and this is something that I'm doing myself too.
I lean into it.
Like, we were with Sensor was there, and I think Brown was there.
Yeah.
You got it.
I've never like
Sing about
really
Jesus.
tried, and it's just part of again of who
Oh,
I
yeah,
am.
that's true.
Like, I'm not a crazy jump around, spin around, clapping kind of person naturally. But I've been trying more and more recently to bring that energy because that's exactly what they're looking for. And I mean, they're never going to be excited, more excited than we are
Yeah.
most of the time. You know.
The lady on the second row, that's where I get all my energy.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Chandra?
Yes.
Yeah.
I even tell her like when I'm sometimes like I go up there and I'm just tired. I'm just like, Lord,
You need
just
to
like
get her to come
give me
first
some
time,
energy.
too.
Yeah, and then I see
She does sometimes.
and I look
Yeah.
over. I always look for her because she's always just like, yes, Jesus. I'm like, oh yeah, girl, let's go. Like,
What's up about the drag? I'm like, where is she? Oh, good.
Yeah, but
Bring it back.
so I just challenge you all to walk this way with me in the energetic,
yeah, it's true.
passionate worship. So, you know, on your instrument, with your voice, I look back at you guys and y'all are always getting it. I don't have to talk to y'all, but
Except when I'm so into it that I'm like, where's the fuck?
yeah, Josh and Lou's heads are bobbing back there.
That's all
I
right.
will say, guys, that if you're not on stage, that is a very, very good support for
Absolutely.
being a worship leader.
Just like I said, when
When
you're
you're
off
out
the
in the crowd.
stage,
Yeah.
worship
When you're out in the
in the
crowd,
congregation.
like, you know, worshiping down there with them, like, for example, it was when Zane got sick and I just jumped right in and there was a song that I was supposed to sing. I don't remember what song it was now.
It was
Um,
you were good.
It's yeah, there you go, good father.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't even know if I'm singing this well, you know. And I'm just kind of like, we were just practicing, so I started singing on there. And I just look over, and Maddie is on her knees,
Yeah.
just with both
Yeah.
hands. I was like, I must be doing something right.
Yeah.
And it motivates you. It does.
Yeah,
it
it does.
motivates
It's
you when you see
encouraging.
that. So
That's true.
if
Like
you're in the audience, you know,
there's definitely a
I
lot.
know what you're saying because you're
Yeah.
like, you don't really feel it at first. I know that it's spirit led. A lot of it is spirit led, but it's also a matter of choice. You have to choose to be that when you're
I was gonna say, I think
when you're out in the audience, when you're on stage.
Where you go.
yeah.
Yeah.
My pretty knows I did motions.
Yes, you
Yes,
do.
it's my favorite thing. I love
I
your
love it too.
motions.
That was actually one of my other things I was going to say. Can Steven sing more? And that was one of them. The last one was, I really like when we do have suggestions, like right before we get started on rehearsal nights, not like
Yes.
Sunday morning. But whenever everyone was there, like I think the last time I led, forever, but the last time I led, and I think Kelvin and Steven and you were there,
Yeah.
anyways. But we like changed something about the songs because we collectively talked about it before.
Yep.
But I think what can easily be confusing is like everyone shouting out, "We should do this. We should do this."
Well,
But
exactly,
I
and I
touched
think,
on it.
as far as that goes, we want to stay away from that on the run-through days
Run
and
through
hit
this
those in.
Thursday, like before.
Well, I'm talking about hit those in the
Workshop.
workshops that we're going to start doing for the small group.
Oh, okay.
As well-
What I was going to say was actually it would be best to, even if it does happen
Yeah.
on a Thursday, to just tell you. You know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
instead of just alerting it,
Yeah.
be like, "Hey Evan, what do you think?"
Sure,
You
and
know?
I mean I'm totally open to that. I'm not trying to shut anything like that down. So
Yeah.
I want us to be creative and feel like we can have those ideas and run with them if they work and that kind of stuff. So yeah. Anybody else before we leave? Okay. What's up?
Hey, can we see before we leave the part perfect and all of this way? Like, can we just do a
It was I'm telling.
Good, Toria. He's sitting beside you. You can't see him because you're on a screen. Because you're a screen.
I will say, from a technical standpoint, there will be a delay. That will be a little awkward.
Well, I kind of
of
wanted to say something. I wrote this at the beginning, but I feel like it's really important because we're having the workshops, we're having the small groups and such, and we're kind of relying on Marquita, Evan, and Brianna. But I feel like we should all really think about and pray about how we can drastically grow as a ministry and as a family, because honestly, like, I've been thinking about that lately, and if our church is not going to grow the way we want it to, or even the way, obviously God wants, whatever, not whatever, but, He knows better. But I just feel like we should really just think about that and meditate on how we can grow drastically as a ministry within ourselves and just become closer, because I feel like that could bring such a boom to our church. And if we could move so many people, like, obviously we do great, when we're up there praising God, but if we get closer and we really do focus on ourselves, our relationship with God, our relationships with each other, and, how God is moves in each other's lives, I feel like we could just do, we could do amazing things as a ministry. So, just wanted to bring that out.
And I just wanted to say that we do appreciate you, because I know sometimes you're really hard on yourself, but you are doing a great job. Like, every leader's going to make mistakes.
And you don't sound bossy.
I just want you to know that. Because you just kept apologizing like Bianca said, and it's like, this is your job as a leader. You're okay.
To your leadership, Evan, because this has really been, I'm going to get emotional, I think, really been working on me. It really has been working on me in the last month or so. You in general and your specific anointing to do this job. And I've spent a lot of time in prayer for you because you're young, you're new to it, and that can be hard. It can. I made a suggestion to you one time and went home, tore up about it. Why did I do that? Yeah. He's doing a great job. My idea is no better than what he's doing. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. But you were talking earlier about worship, and, Bill and I tuned in Sunday on our honeymoon, and it just felt so weird because we weren't there, and it is weird. It's a different element when you're in the building. But when Bill and I decided we need to find a church home for the two of us, not my church or your church, but a church that we wanted together, we asked Morgan, my stepdaughter, if she wanted to join us in that journey. Absolutely not. She did not want to. She wanted to keep going to the church she was going to. She was happy there. She's connected there. That's fine. She was okay with us finding our own. Until I led worship one week, which made her want to come to here. Mm-hmm. And she's been here every Sunday since because of the worship. Now, my mom came for Christmas Eve, and we just sold our home, and she's moving to Irmo. And the first thing out of her mouth was, I can go to Seacoast in Irmo because of the worship. Yep. So we never know. Like, it's the people that come every week, but you never know who you're just kind of bringing along because somebody wanted to hear you sing or somebody wanted to hear you play. And then all of a sudden, their life has changed because they're pulled in a whole new direction as to where they need to be for worship or what church they're attending. And anyway, Mom's first service here, she had your dad saying, hey, we've got this group for people your age. And she was like, what in the world? Like, everybody wanted a piece of me. But it's a good thing because you don't get that in a lot of churches. Trust me, you don't get that in a lot of churches. So our worship here makes a big difference in people's lives. I can't tell you, now I'm really going to get, I can't tell you how much Morgan's faith has grown since she started coming to this church. There's nothing wrong with the church she goes to. Nothing wrong with it at all. And my mom has just been on fire for worship lately. That's because of what we do here. And because of your leadership and where you direct us. And because you are direction to God. Where are we going based on where God is leading me? You're good at that, Evan, and you do a great job with that, and it shows. It works. You need to hear that.
You do need to hear it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Ditto. Everybody.
Well, I love each and every one of you, and I hope you have a great.
You upset Mama Bear.
She's still yelling.
We better sing this song.
Oh, sorry, you keep freezing up. We can't.
Glentoria, what did you want to sing?
The bridge to good, good Father.
Okay.
Good, good Father.
Perfect in all of your ways. Go for it.
Where are we at?
Just start.
Yeah, just start. Go for it.
Perfect in all of your ways. Does that too hard for you?
It's okay.
No. Okay. No. What is it? No. How do you get that? Wait. What is it?
Let's go for it.
Just go for it.
In all of your ways, you are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. Sorry. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. To us. Is that it? Is that all you
Yeah.
wanted?
Who is that?
Got us ministering to somebody.
What?
Okay.
We're ministering to somebody else.
Yes,
You're
ma'am. Hey,
welcome.
thanks for being with us, Glentoria.
We love you, Mama
You are
Bear.
very dedicated.
That's your new nickname now. It's Mama Bear.
All right, we'll see ya.
Bye.
She's talking to you, Spencer, I think.
I'm still painting.
That is a trip. I can't
Girl,
believe it worked
yes.
that well.
No, I'm late. It's late.
I was honestly like, I will text him at like 5 o'clock and be like, yeah, it just ran really long.
This is, remember we had a prayer about my good friend's husband in
Yes.
Fayetteville. He died last week. And that's why Toy is not here right now. Because he's there supporting her right now. So she's online right now. And hey Rita, this is our team, our praise team.
Hi.
This is a very, very good friend of ours. She's a colonel in the U.S. Army, and she just lost her husband. But I just want, if we can, while we're still here, just to give her a real quick prayer, and pray for her real quick, and then you guys can go on and do your thing.
Absolutely.
So, Marquita.
Come on, Jesus. Okay. All right. We got it. Everybody ready?
Can she hear her?
Yes.
Rita, can you hear me? Okay. Awesome. Father God, we just come to you right now with humble hearts. We just thank you. I just can never have enough praise on my lips, God. Even when we don't understand, Lord God, we just know that we can trust you. Even when things don't make sense, even when things don't work out the way that we thought they should, we know that you are good and you are perfect in all of your ways. As the bridge said, God, we just thank you for being merciful. We thank you for your grace. I just pray that you give Rita and the rest of her family a peace that transcends all understanding, God, and that you would just wrap your arms around her and give her a comfort, God, that she's never known before. And for her to know that FD is in good hands, God, and that you are taking care of him like nobody else can. God, we just praise you for who you are, for our lives individually, to know that, you know, we can plan our steps, but you make sure that we succeed in them. So, God, we just thank you for being sovereign, because your thoughts are higher than our thoughts, and your ways are higher than our ways, God. And we just thank you for being who you are. And your word says that you will make the intelligent unintelligent, God. And so we just pray for your wisdom as we continue on this journey with you until we can see you face to face, that we would just seek you out, God, and we would just run after you with all we have. I always have this vision of me just chasing after you, God, and I just pray that that be the same for everybody on the screen, in this room, God, that we would just chase after you as you have come for us, God, in our vulnerability, in times when we didn't want you. Lord, you still pursued us, God. So I just pray that we have that same level of pursuit in our hearts, no matter what's going on, and that we will be unquenchable worshipers, and that we will be on fire for you, and that there would always be a praise on our lips, no matter what's going on. God, we just thank you for who you are once again, and we just pray this in your son Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.